Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
They say you have potential.
The future is mine.
I can go anywhere.
I just have one question.
How am I going to get there?
The United States Air Force can give you the chance you need to be successful and teach you the skills to make it happen so you really can go anywhere.
Trust your own instincts. Listen to yourself.
To find out about Air Force ROTC at Sacramento State, call Lieutenant Cassandra Richards at 278-7315.
It's week 10 of the football season. The end of the line for many schools, a crossroads for playoff-bound teams trying to enhance their postseason positioning with a clutch win on the final weekend of the regular season. Two-time defending section champion Elk Grove is no longer the invincible Delta dominator as in past seasons, but the Thundering Herd is still dangerous, especially with a co-championship at stake. Meantime, host Valley also wants part of the league title and will defend its home turf this evening, trying to register its most important win in 4 years. Tonight, in a key Delta League duel, the Elk Grove Thundering Herd squares off with the Valley Vikings in a battle for a share of the Delta crown. Coming up next on the Capital City Game of the Week on Access Sacramento TV 73. Your connection to the only complete game television coverage of high school sports in the Sacramento area. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Cosumnes River College. It's the Game of the Week. I'm Will James, along with the Imperator of Analysis, Jim Domino, and tonight, as you can clearly see, we have a Delta deadlock dilemma. A three-way tie for the top spot. Two of those three, Jim, on hand. Valley and Elk Grove, two highly touted ball clubs. This big crowd tonight should be treated.
Good evening, football fans. We've got a beautiful night, no wind here, big crowd at Cosumnes River, and welcome. We expect a great football game. We expect some points to be scored here and maybe quite a few. So we've got Valley versus Elk Grove for possible co-championship and also for possibly the second and third berths in the playoff system. What a matchup.
Dual significance, a great matchup. If we splash the upper echelon, two ball clubs somewhat in contrasting direction, if you can really say that. A dynasty-like team with invincibility the past couple seasons. Elk Grove taking a few hits, but still in the top dozen. And Valley, after some horrid seasons, rebuilding, finally getting another quality ball club in the first time in about 4 or 5 seasons and really making an impact locally.
Oh, Valley certainly has. These are two natural rivals normally, and I can tell you could throw past records out the window. A lot's at stake this evening. Coach Cox came down from the foothills here and really turned this program around. So Valley's ready for a big contest here tonight.
Well, if we scope the last outings for these two ball clubs, a tough way to go for one squad, and the other one rolled very nicely and decisively, and thus setting up tonight's confrontation.
Well, Valley took care of Sheldon relatively easy. By the same time, Oak Ridge came down from the hills. And Division II or Division I, they did one heck of a job in handling Elk Grove convincingly, 35-8.
Oh, the Valley Vikings can hardly forget the previous meeting between these two Delta foes. Lopsided, one-sided, and real tough to do. Which one do you want to use, Nana? Okay, let's share this one, Jim. Thank you, lady. It was Elk Grove in their undefeated season and second straight section crown, really taking apart Valley and certainly serving motivation in tonight's contest.
Well, last year, I'm sure Valley doesn't want to hear this, and they can answer the call tonight, but a 61-0 victory against the defending section champion Division I is something that Valley wants to throw down a drain, and certainly that scoreboard at the end of the evening will indicate that, where they've vindicated that score, Will.
Well, for the visitors tonight, Elk Grove under coaches Lombardi, Hoskins, and company, they are going to have to rely heavily on what we consider the herd henchmen, and it's a younger bunch than the group we usually tout in the pregame.
It sure is. The veterans are gone, Dinwoody and company, but Jason Gaithing, running back with a 9.2 average, is there with 4 touchdowns. Andrew DiBenedetti, a hard-running halfback, also with an 8.4. And, of course, the durable co-captain and defensive stalwart, 2-year veteran, Sean Grable, anchoring that front.
Well, for Coach Cox and his staff, the Vikings vanguard, explosive and dynamic, led by Mr. Lewis.
Keith Lewis, number 7, two-way starter, is one of the most sought-after athletes on the West Coast. Talked to a number of Division I schools. They are hot after this young man, and I can understand. He can run, he can catch, got over 1,500 yards. Ishmael Thrower, their linebacker, tight end starter, a great two-way player. And, of course, Manas Hapoy, the big man anchoring that defensive linebacker position, all 6'4", 220 of them. He also starts at fullback, and I'll tell you, those are 3 tough hombres.
And that does not account for all of their dynamic, electrifying ball players. We'll be promoting them the entire game. They've got plenty. The tail of the scale, wow, what a disparity. I don't think I've seen one quite this big all year in one of those line matchups, Jim.
Well, Elk Grove offensive line slightly outweighs the Viking defense, but when you turn it around, that big Viking offense averages 261 and has a 35-pound weight advantage over Elk Grove.
Well, that fits right into the Cox box. Lots of rushing yards racked by the Vikes, and the Elk Grove D is going to be on the spot trying to slam the door on a powerhouse offensive squad, but many intangibles and many keys in tonight's ball game.
Oh, there certainly are. Obviously, the running ability of Lewis and Howard leading the Vikings, and the big fullback, Hapoy. Of course, the passing, if you want to call it, he's not amazed everybody with his stats, Frierson. The strength of the Vikings seems to line with that big offensive line, and they can open up the holes with Lewis and company exploding. They can score. The big test is going to be, can they play some D and finish an opponent off in the fourth quarter? And so that will, if they can do that, perhaps they can go in as that number 2 and maybe co-champions of that Delta.
Well, perhaps is the key word, and we won't have long to find out. We invite you to stay right there. Keep it tuned on TV 73 Access Sacramento. This is the Capital City Game of the Week tonight in a key Delta deadlock dilemma. We'll see how this unravels. Elk Grove versus host Valley High School coming up next. When we come back, we'll be joining our colleague Jeff Hassan up in the press box. Check out starting lineups and brace for tonight's opening kickoff. Stay right there with us.
This edition of the Capital City Game of the Week is being brought to you by JR's Texas Barbecue. It's the taste of authentic Texas barbecue right here in Sacramento. Dimple Records, new and used CDs, cassettes, movies, games, and gifts. The insanity begins here. Los Rios Community College District. Call for registration information or visit our website. When you choose your college, choose the best. Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
Committed to the total education of young women. St. Francis High School, challenging the body, inspiring the mind, touching the heart.
Hands need hands to help you see what lies ahead, what you want to be. Hands need hands, hands to reach.
Kids today need extra help to stay in school. Communities and Schools brings hands in need together with hands that can help.
Did you?
Well, it has given me an opportunity to come in, learn about equipment, learn about the processes of producing, directing. Oh, it's been great. It's been fantastic. Very professional crew, very, very professionally run and organized.
Welcome back to Cosumnes River College. It's the Capital City Game of the Week on Access Sacramento TV 73. I'm Will James. Alongside, happy to have the Imperator of Analysis, Jim Domino, and our guest announcer this evening, Jeff Hassan. And this is for a Delta deadlock. Jeff, it's nice to have you with us again this evening, especially for such an important ball game. Though it's not a Metro confrontation, nevertheless, a hot Delta matchup in Week 10.
Yeah, this is a great Delta matchup, and you see that Coach Cox has done a great job getting his team here to the final game of the regular season. You also see that the fans and the community understand the importance of this game tonight, too, and you'll see that in the stands.
Coach Domino, you mentioned in the pregame show that multiple ramifications tonight, and not the least of which is claiming a co-title. Though the loser does advance to playoff competition, certainly there's a big difference between a co-championship in the Delta League and finishing third.
Certainly there is, and both coaches are going for it, obviously, as well as their players. From that time that they practiced all week and the kickoff time here, really, they're looking to be co-champions. Secondly, of course, with that co-championship comes a possible number 2 berth, or in the case of an upset on the other end of town, why, you know, that then there's a possibility of a 1 berth. And so you have a number 2 and 3 playoff berth and a possible co-championship going to the winner.
Well, we're set to get this one underway. Elk Grove kicking off, and Nolan Dunkley chips one high but short to the far side, and Keith Lewis bobbles and picks it up outside the 5. Comes to the middle of the field and gets dropped near the 10 for poor field position after the muffed kickoff. So that's where the Valley Vikes will start on offense, and we'll take a peek at their starting offensive lineup. Let's rock. In the backfield, Larry Frierson, underrated, unheralded to some extent, with the other skill position players on this team being so explosive. Hapoy, Howard, and Lewis round out a dynamic backfield. A pair of tight ends there, excellent ones, Trejo and Thrower, and that interior line, Arriaga, Cruz, O'Meara, DeLone Johnson, and Grayling Love. First play from scrimmage to the near side. Lewis breaks a tackle, outruns 2 men to the near sideline. Watch out near midfield, shoves off the man with a straight arm. He's being chased down the stretch, and he's caught from behind and fumbles the football near the 15-yard line. A wild scramble near the 5, and the Valley Vikes have a key fumble recovery after a scintillating sweep by Special K, Keith Lewis, and it didn't take long for him to showcase not just the speed, but the power to show off the speed, Coach.
First scrimmage, play from scrimmage. He takes the pitch back from quarterback Frierson and just goes down the field roughly 75, 80 yards, bouncing off tacklers, showing why he is heavily recruited.
Wow, that was a great run. He's trying to
okay, see the pitch here. Jeff, he bounces off 1, breaks that tackle, stiff arms, breaks 2, runs over that guy. He's still running, breaks another tackle. He's on his way to goal line, breaks another tackle, gets hit, fumbles the football down to about the 5-yard line. Was that a run, Jeff?
Oh, that was a great run. That was a really good run. They're just going to have to establish themselves on defense right now. It just looks like he was trying to do a little too much with the football, but he's here to play tonight, and he'll settle down, and they'll take care of business.
Elk Grove trying to hold the fort here on defense after the 1st and goal from the 6, gain of 1, 2nd goal from the 5. And we'll take a look at Elk Grove's defense. The first page anyway, along that D line, the veteran Crable with Hoyt, Summers, and Marquez. 2nd and goal from the 5 to the near side. Lewis tripped up and dropped in the backfield. Clutch stop from leading tackler Douglas McDonald, 33. Now let's see the linebackers for the Herd, and there he is, back to the starting lineup after a nagging injury, complementing Lee, Lindsay, and Adam George, a 2-way starter. And in that secondary for the Herd, LeVar Henry, Aaron White, and Derek Broadhurst. So we're just underway from Cosumnes River College. Will James, Jim Domino, Jeff Hassan, also alongside Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bean. We've gotten off to an explosive start with Valley threatening early, courtesy of a Keith Lewis romp, setting up a red zone march. But here's Lewis bobbling a pitch, and a fumble recovery by Elk Grove. back near the 15-yard line, and that is a drive buster and a mega turnover.
Well, you see a speed option there. They went to the speed option with quarterback Frierson pitching the ball to Lewis. Lewis dropping the football, and of course Elk Grove recovers. Jeff, I don't know, a little surprised. It's easy for us to second guess there, but here they are on the 5-yard line, and suddenly they don't run their normal offense.
Yeah, they looked like they were stretching a little bit, trying to get on the outside corner there, and he just bobbled the football.
Jones, the quarterback, hands off, and Elk Grove has a nice carry on first down. And before we set the officials, let's take a look at Elk Grove's offense. They've gone with this for the past few weeks after realigning early in the season following a couple of tough hits. At quarterback, Steve Jones for the Elk Grove offense. He's complemented in the backfield by Gathing, George, and Andrew DiBenedetto. Next play, hitch pass. DiBenedetto dropped on a nice solo hit to the near side. DeAndre Hearn, 27, with the solo hit.
Very well played.
Receiving tandem for Elk Grove, Diaz and the tight end Ryan Hodges. And along that front, the veteran holdover Quist working with Masters, Hutchings, Ochoa, and Hodorowski. So up to the line on 3rd and short, make it 3rd and a bit better than 2 for the Elk Grove Thundering Herd, but whistle stop play. And both of these squads, Jeff, they've had certainly their fair share of penalties that have been gunshots to the feet along the way.
Encroachment on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Okay, hold on for 1 second, Jeff. Let's splash our refs, and we'll see that this quintet is led by Bubba Hurd, also tonight's ump Jerry Stannard, Larry Bazanson. Our field judge, Ed Fitzgerald, and Craig Myers tonight serving as the back judge. So 3rd and long now after the 5-yard walk-off, 3rd and 7, working left on the ground. Gathing showing good determination and fight, but not making much more than a yard or so. And he's been a young bright spot, Jeff, for this outfit since they reshuffled the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that penalty was very costly right there because it put him in a 3rd and short, and then that put him in a 3rd and long. Had to be a little conservative on the play calling. That brings up a 4th down for Elk Grove.
Okay, we'll set that Valley D for you in just a moment, but the Herd is looking at 4th and 6, and they're going to go into punt formation. Single safety, Keith Lewis, standing back of midfield as Valley slams the door and forces this punt. Wobbly spiral, but short, and bounding directly to Lewis. He takes it on 2 hops, splits 2 defenders, sidesteps a man, and makes about a 5-yard return with lots of effort. And the ball goes back over to the Valley Vikes. So both clubs have a turn with the football, although Valley forfeiting a magnificent opportunity early to take control with the big turnover. So 2nd time with the football, the Vikings rolling in here at 4-1, 6-3 overall, Jeff, and one of the most exciting clubs around with their big speed play capability.
Absolutely. First play last time and went for a long run. We'll see what coach has got called here.
Howard in motion, and the inside handoff goes to Lewis, and he's dropped immediately. Boy, nice looking defensive play that time. Crable, 56, bear hugged him and forced a 1-yard loss.
Well, I faked the ball to Howard, who hasn't handled the ball there, number 8, and they come back with the inside wing trap with Lewis coming back against the green. But, you know, Elk Grove had a great read out of that, didn't they, Jeff?
Yeah, they got good penetration there and just shut the play down.
So Larry Frierson back to the huddle after a quick sideline chat. We're nearing midway first, and a quick expiring first period from Cosumnes River College, 7:20 and rolling. No score early. Valley trying to crank up. The southpaw up the field, has a man, but overthrows him by 6 or 7 yards. Thrower, a talented, multi-talented, big target at tight end, beat the secondary flat, but couldn't run that one down. Well, here's the Delta deadlock that's put this game as being pivotal. A dilemma, you might say. 3-way tie. Laguna having beaten both squads with the upper hand, and tonight's pair, Jim, having to slug it out the hard way.
Well, yes, they will. They're going to fight it out for the co-championship, even though both have lost to Laguna. Certainly Laguna's in the driver's seat right now.
Laguna beat both of these teams by near identical scores. Meantime, Frierson rolls to his right and throws the tough pass. Broken up in the Herd secondary. LeVar Henry with the tap away. So the Vikes in trouble here, 4th and long.
Well, they went to that passing game pretty quick, including on 2nd down. And Frierson had to flush the pocket there, was under duress, and had to fire the ball there, and Elk Grove defender was all over him over there.
Absolutely, a good defense right there by the defensive back. Brings up another punting situation here.
So the Valley punt, muscled, bounding at the 25, and the Herd let that roll, downed with good coverage and below average field position upcoming for the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. We mentioned the 2 victories by Laguna over tonight's opponents here at Cosumnes River College. Laguna stopped Valley narrowly, 34-28, and took Elk Grove 33-29. Okay, the Valley defense, a big play defense. Booth, Cruz, Joe Love, and Kelvin Truitt along the front. Meantime, Elk Grove working on 1st down, and they're stuffed. There's a quartet of linebackers, and Valley has a fumble recovery. So we'll postpone the rest of those introductions as each club now, Jeff, tops up a key turnover. In a sense, that evened out with a disparity of only about 15 or 20 yards in field position as the Vikes get the ball back.
Yeah, we're seeing some early turnovers here. That's just the jitters of both ball clubs. They need to settle down and just play football. These are 2 well-coached teams, and we'll see who strikes here, who makes the other team pay for the costly turnover.
Football parked at the 17-yard line. Valley working with a key 1st down. Frierson down the line. Boy, Howard hit the hole quick and strung out 3 tacklers and makes the 11. Nice pickup of 5 or 6 on that. And Howard's been sensational this year, yet overshadowed by Lewis's fantastic season on the year. Howard's put up some great numbers himself, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. 8 touchdowns for the year. And Elk Grove is keying on Lewis, so he will be a key this game.
What really impressed me is Frierson's fake on that play. He really carried out his fake.
He had me faked. Here we go on 2nd and 4. Howard again, but this time Crable and 2 other herdsmen shut that down. A slight gain, but not a lot, and that'll bring up 3rd and about 4, only about a 1-yard run there.
Well, the hole was there briefly, but I tell you this, that Elk Grove closed fast, didn't it?
Oh, hey, this is the 2nd time that Valley's been in the red zone down here, and they got to come away with some points off after that costly turnover, but their defense is really tightened up.
Key 3rd and 4. Valley sputtering here after getting the football back on a fumble recovery. Each club trading a mistake. Frierson tossed to the money man. Lewis near side 10. 5 for the flag. Touchdown Valley as Keith Lewis scores from 11 yards out. Almost as if it were half speed, Coach Domino.
Well, he takes the pitch after fumbling the football twice, Will. Now he's going to take the pitch at about half speed, pick up a little momentum, and then set up the defense, because the defense is looking at him running east-west at what they think is half speed, but then he kicks it into high gear, turns the corner.
Yeah, he's definitely got the overdrive gear.
Yeah, he does. He kicked it in and just said, hey, you know, I'm faster than you think.
Point after touchdown by Jeff Duncan on target. So at 5:26 of the 1st, following a fumble recovery by Elk Grove, Valley cashes in. Lewis scampers 11 yards, and we'll take a second look at Valley's TD.
Okay, he gets a pitch out here, and you see him running about half, picks it up in the high gear, turns the corner, and goes to the flag.
Nearly effortless, 7-0 here at Cosumnes River College. Welcome to the Capital City Game of the Week with Jim Domino, Jeff Hassan, Director Kit Clemens, and the entire Capital City Game of the Week broadcast crew. I'm Will James. Pleasure to have you with us on a beautiful evening, considering mid-November dynamite conditions tonight, and a huge crowd has turned out to see this Delta ball game decide who's going to be co-champions and who's not, and so far they're getting their money's worth. Meantime, Duncan kicks off down the slot, but short, taken at the 15 or so. Big hole up the middle, but nice closure. And the run back Stephon Jacobs makes the 20, where are they going to spot that? The 25, I suppose. 1st and 10 Herd, and they're down 7-0 here with a bit better than 5 minutes left in the opening quarter.
Well, you know, they're high on the Stephon Jacobs, the young junior back with a lot of speed and power. He almost, you know, the lane was there. There was a crease there, but it closed.
So Jones at quarterback has Gathing go in motion, and Adam George has the pill, but he bumps into his own man in the backfield. Okay, let's take a look at that Valley defense. Highly heralded. Brian Booth, Cruz, Love, and Truitt in the front. Quartet of backers, Apoy, Ishmael Thrower, Lacefield, Lewis, and 3 deep in the secondary featuring Howard, Fields, and Frierson. An outstanding trio there. So gain of 1 at best. 2nd and long, Adam George, work left and barrel for a few, hard working. He's been there a real stud this year, Jim, and not the same composition on that offensive line by a long ways, and not the lead blocking element in the past years, but Adam George earning his keep every week for the Herd.
Well, he's truly the head herdsman, really, this year. He's a veteran, only a junior, and he's got to carry the load inside right well.
3rd and 5, roll out, Jones, he throws. Nice grab along the sideline. Wow, Gathing has an extended finger grab, and it's a key first down near midfield. Boy, I'll tell you, Jones put it in the sweet spot, and Gathing held his concentration to make a very impressive catch. Boy, that was big, and moved the stakes for a key Herd first down.
That was, it was a nice catch, and boy, as he's going out of bounds, it was close to not having control of the football.
Midfield stripe. Jones down the line, keeps it and works upfield for about a 3-yard run, maybe 4. Hard contact in the secondary issued by DeAndre Hearn, 27. He's had a couple of solo stops already tonight up from that cornerback spot.
Well, he's tough, but I tell you what, Ishmael Thrower, oh, he sacrificed the body, number 5. He's got over 100 tackles this year, and he really put the wood to it.
2 interceptions to go with those 100-plus tackles. Meantime, the Herd keeps it on the ground. Thrower again in on an assisted tackle. Again helped out by 27, DeAndre Hearn.
Well, you know, the Valley defense is doing a lot of looping and twisting, as we call it. Jeff, why don't you explain to our audience what we're talking about with the defense?
Well, at the D-line level, first level of defense, you got the defense looping, changing their position, giving them a different look there. And they're moving with the motion, and you see them just stack it up there. They didn't loop that time, but they're trying to give those blocking schemes of Elk Groves, give them fits up front.
Just enough daylight that time for an Adam George blast and a apparent first down. Stoppage of play by tonight's game referee, Bubba Hurd. That is a first down, and they move the stakes. So Elk Grove, though not taking big bites, marching down the field somewhat consistently, but looking at a 7-point deficit here. Late first from Casunas River, 2.5 to go. DeBenedetto jammed up and dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a little bit.
Now, one of the things Elk Grove has got to take a good look at here, on every time they've moved the chains on 1st and 10, they're either running a loop or twist stunt with their line or blitzing linebackers, which they did there. I mean, they threw 8 people at Elk Grove on first down because Elk Grove 1st and 10 were running the football. Now, one of these times, Elk Grove's got to cross them up.
That's it. You're right.
2nd and long, big room. Adam George has about 9 or so off the right side. Good opening daylight.
This is an impressive drive by Elk Grove coming off of that turnover and going down 7 points. They needed to establish their offense here on this drive, and they're doing that very, very methodically and very well.
I agree with you, Jeff. Very convincingly here. If not the turnover, they look very impressive. They're responding.
That leaves them with 3rd and 2, and markers come out. A mistimed running play featuring Adam George, but a line surge before he really got the football. So we'll wait and see on the penalty, but this will give us a chance to splash this week's hint for the Game of the Week trivia quiz, and it's been a doozy. We've had 231 people send in cards and letters, and I must say that there has been at least one correct answer so far. There's the question, who owns the rep of being the baddest hitter in football history? That's all time. His most famous hit came against the Steelers when he exploded into Pittsburgh fullback Joe Gary. We'll show you the rest later. Gathing works left, and Gathing has himself about a little bit. Okay, let's see it, Renee. At the 1 minute mark and rolling, the collision was so violent that the impact popped one of Gary's eyeballs out of his head. Now,
oh my gosh,
that's not the definitive
a big time hit, Will.
Near the, well, sometime in the second half, I'll read all 5. But I got 5 good hints for you, and we'll repeat that question because you might want to go ahead and send us your reply. Bobbled in the backfield and dropped.
Wow.
Gathing muffed the pitch and got dropped. Opoy all over him. He tried to gather it in and step away, but Opoy was way too quick for that. And first down, Valley Vikes as they shut down that drive. 3 and out after the Herd first down.
Well, Will, you saw there that was another costly penalty. We saw that earlier in the game where Elk Grove had 3rd and short and ended up getting a penalty, 5-yard penalty, and made it 3rd and long, and it cost them again.
Okay, Valley on the attack, 1st and 10, 35 seconds to go in the first period, 7-0 Vikes. Here comes Frierson. He faked everybody out, and he has a 10-yard run. First down Valley, it looks like, at the 25-second mark. You know, we enjoy calling these game, coaches, but we have to tip our caps to the underwriters whose generous financial support make these special sports presentations possible. And we're talking about Athletics Unlimited and the Air Force ROTC, Bleachers on University, and Brinkus Collision Repair Facility. Clock winding down here in the first. To Dimples Records and Amy Hardware, and to JR's Texas Barbecue 12th anniversary. Jeff Hassan and New York Live. Take a bow, guys. Hiram Johnson, the West Campus, Leatherby's, Skills Athletics, the St. Francis High School Friars Club. We extend our deep gratitude. That's the number to call to find out more about supporting the Game of the Week. Punch in 167 to leave some information on how you can help us sustain these presentations. We played a quarter from Cosumnes River College. It's the Capital City Game of the Week on TV 73 in a Delta deadlock. Valley High 7, Elk Grove nothing. Stay with us. We shall return.
Stay tuned for more exciting action of the Capital City Game of the Week.
This edition of the Capital City Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Air Force ROTC program. Call Lieutenant Richards for more information. And by Athletics Unlimited, where every day is game day, dedicated to supporting education and student athletics. Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
Committed to the total education of young women. St. Francis High School. Challenging the body, inspiring the mind, touching the heart.
Johnson West Campus, winner of the 1999 Gold Medal for Academic Excellence. West Campus is a college preparatory high school with a rich tradition of academic and athletic achievement, where students experience education as it should be.
This is David. Oh, this is what David's done. David went to college. Sorry, Annapolis. David taught himself to play piano, the sax, even the bagpipes. Well, maybe not the bagpipes. David was NBA Rookie of the Year. He's also been to the Olympics twice. David even became a naval officer. David's sure done a lot. But you know one thing David's never done? Drugs. David doesn't do drugs. Maybe that's why he's done so much.
Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports are proud to present the Capital City Game of the Week, but they need your help. Your financial underwriting support is vital to maintain these special sports presentations. Interested businesses or individuals who also believe in this coverage of student athletics can help by joining these dedicated underwriters of the Capital City Game of the Week. For more information, call 456-8600, extension 167.
Well, nice to have you with us. I'm Will James with Jim Domino and Jeff Hassan. We're at Cosumnes River College tonight for the Capital City Game of the Week. There's part of a sellout crowd tonight. Happy to be here, as we are, for a key Delta football matchup. Right now, Valley and Elk Grove slugging it out to see who is a co-champion along with Laguna, and to see who the second or third Delta League playoff rep is. Right now, we start second period action. Vikings on the attack. Second and inches, and that's an easy first down. A gang tackle 5 yards later, but the Vikings move the stakes.
That looked like Big Manas going in there right up the gut. Only a junior, and boy, I tell you, he carries the pile.
Yeah, he moved the pile there, and they just needed a short yard. A lot of times, you know, look to put that ball up long on second and short, but Coach Cox is just looking to move the chains and keep the drive going.
Well, he's listed at 6'4" and 210, just a junior, and I'm quite sure he'll add on to that as he completes his high school career. He's run for nearly 400 yards, but here's Keith Lewis. Boy, I'll tell you, Vic Marquez, 31, strung that out until help arrived. That's about a 2-yard loss as he dumped Keith Lewis. Not easy to do.
Not easy to do, but the way you do it is get penetration in the backfield. Then he got support from the corner coming in. And here you see the coach very concerned here from the sidelines in front of the Valley bench here.
Second and 12, Jeff. Elk Grove's trying to show that they have some defense too. They're already trailing by 7, but they realize that they can't allow any more of a push from here.
Absolutely. This is a big play for them. Second and long, look for a draw or a screen.
Frierson turns and gives. Good containment. Everybody in the world's there for Elk Grove, including Crable, 56. He got help from 3 other herdsmen, including McDonald, but a penalty marker dropped.
Well, this time they were waiting for that trap coming around. Fake to Lewis, give the ball to Howard, coming back inside. Well, it's unfortunate that Elk Grove is finding ways to dismantle himself here, as you mentioned earlier, Jeff.
That's a personal foul, 50-yard penalty for grabbing a face down. First down, ball on the third 30. Take that for 31.
Well, probably a costly mistake the way Valley handles the football on offense. Very dangerous team, but uncharacteristic mistake of a Lombardi Hoskins coached ball club. First down, Valley. Frierson play fake, has his pass go incomplete. Nobody even in the vicinity for Valley High School. Falling down, one of the receivers, a hook over the middle, Ishmael Thrower, unable to hold his footing. But no Valley Viking receiver in the area. Aaron White, the nearest player for Elk Grove.
What they do is they mesmerize you with their run game. Then with the play action, they give them max protection. So very often you'll only see 1 to 2 receivers going out. And he had plenty of time to throw.
Yeah, that play was to Thrower, and he got tangled up, his feet got tangled up, and there wasn't a receiver there, but that's who it appeared to me to be too.
Well, this will give us a chance on the called timeout to splash our promo for the Game of the Week website, newly originated, and it's a simple address you can bring up and pop in for a visit if you like, sacramento.org/GOTW. We've got some things in there now that you might like browsing through, and we're going to be adding some things along the way that you might even get a kick out of. So the Game of the Week website, welcome aboard. The welcome mat is open. Right now, timeout on the field here at Cosumnes River College. It's early in the second period, and Elk Grove trying to apply some defense to the Valley Vikes. Valley already on top 7-0 in this one.
Well, you know, Elk Grove is very much in this ball game. They just have to keep control, keep their poise, not lose their poise, not give up the penalties and turnovers. That's what's hurt them thus far. They've been self-destructing. They're very much in this game.
2nd and 10. The Cox box packed in tight. Up the middle running is Bullish for a few. And it's going to bring up 3rd and intermediate. McCoy just a
you know, Jim,
1 or 2 yard
this
run.
offense is conducive to kind of keep running the ball up the middle and gaining 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as we say, and then breaking one to the outside. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, very definitely. There you see Coach Hoskins and his staff very much concerned that Valley is using the clock on them right now and getting some first down. The big play, 3rd and a long 7 here is a big play coming.
But before 3rd and 7, timeout taken on the field, and it's taken by the Herd. They're going to realign on defense, so that always gives us another little bit of a chance to throw something your way. And let's go back to trivia, because we kind of ran through that about as fast as Keith Lewis. Question again, who owns the reputation of being considered the absolute most dangerous, hardest hitting football player of all time? This week's hint, and hint number 5, his most famous hit came against the Steelers when he exploded into Pittsburgh fullback Joe Gary. The collision was so violent that the impact popped one of Gary's eyeballs out of his head. Other hints for this quiz, and you may need them. He knocked out more than 75 players with devastating hits during his NFL career. He played on the same team with 6 future NFL Hall of Famers, but was never on a championship team. He hit so hard and injured so many players, opponents accused him of hiding metal plates in his shoulder pads, and he was so feared that one rival team placed a bounty on him to pay off the player who could knock him out. We'll give you more in a moment. Meantime, Valley, it's Frierson, the swing to Keith Lewis. He turns it up and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. The Herd had that one smelled out. Beautiful job. Crable again near the football.
Well, Frierson tried to drop the swing and let Lewis go one-on-one in that outside that perimeter, which is a normal good play. Hapoy went in motion, the big fullback, and led the supposed interference. I thought, frankly, he turned up the field a little early, and should have been a motion penalty, but I'm not the referee from here, Jeff.
But you are the imperator of analysis. 4th and 6, Jeff. Hold the phone a moment. Key down, 4-down territory. Frierson under center. Vikings trying to click a first down or better. A rollout throw, incomplete. Off target, intended for Howard, and not a strike that time, and the ball goes over.
Yeah, that was just thrown behind him. He rolled out to the left. He's a left-hander, and ball just thrown behind him, and the receiver couldn't get to it.
Well, I see Frierson with mobility to get outside the pocket and flush the pocket, but as you mentioned, Jeff, I think mechanically it's easy to see from here, he's not getting his throwing shoulder up the field and consequently throwing behind the receiver. He's had receivers open.
Yeah, I agree, Jim.
Right now, Jones and the Herd on the attack. Adam George straight ahead, barrel over one tackler. He pays the price and runs for about 5 or so, maybe a bit more than that. Adam George. And as far as Frierson's concerned, we'll get back to him a bit more when Valley's got the pill, but he's a 50% passer on the season, but doesn't go upstairs too much, just 74 attempts through the air this year. But he's clicking on about 19 yards a grab. But now it's Elk Grove trying to push it up the field, trailing by 7. We're nearing midway second from Casumas, 7-0 Valley Vikings. Valley all over that. They're not going for it, and it might be a 1-yard gain.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we know, Adam George is tough. He's won one of our awards here last week, and DeAndre Hearn, number 27, put a good hit and collar on him. But you know, there was nowhere for him to go. So here we are with a 3rd and short, key down for Elk Grove, and I'm just once again amazed that their opportunities are there, and Elk Grove seemingly won't cash in, but maybe this time.
Misdirection carry. Here's a breakout. Gathing showing some good muscle after the defense converges, and he's got plenty for an Elk Grove first down, move the stakes, and that was a big play right there, and Valley got caught flat.
Oh, that was a great call by the offensive coordinator for Elk Grove, and he just came back against the grain.
Okay, there you see the fake inside, give the ball on that trap to Gathing, and he runs over people. Excellent call.
Boy, nice replay. Kevin Knight tearing it up on the field. Clemens and company in the truck doing it. Jones, a late pitch, near side. Gathing making the most of it, stringing out some Vikings along the way, and he's close to another first down. Might have it. Does have it. So the junior running back, Gathing, getting more and more confidence each week, and his carries are up, showing some good stuff tonight, Coach Domino.
Oh, he sure is. He's really competitive with his ex-Valley teammates. He came off this Valley team on to Elk Grove.
Jones faked to Benedetto. Here's an interception on the run by Frierson. To the 40, to the 50. One man has a chance. It's Jones. Far side to the 20-10. Touchdown Vikings. On a pick and run by Larry Frierson, covering about 80 yards. That was near the 20.
No flags, gentlemen.
And Frierson smoked that. Jones, the only chance, and he couldn't catch him.
Well, what impressed me, obviously, was not just the run, it's the way he broke on the football. I mean, unbelievable. That receiver was wide open, and Jones held the ball a little too long, and then Frierson, from his free safety, just really broke, didn't he, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely. He was watching the quarterback's eyes. As soon as the quarterback took his hand off the football, he was already breaking, sniffed it out.
Big, big play.
Larry Frierson, not exactly pinpoint passing tonight, but right there, making all that be forgotten with an interception return for a TD. Duncan tacks on the PAT, and at 6:37 of the second, midway second here at Casumnes, 14-0 as the Valley Vikings stretch out.
Well, Will, you'll see that Valley's 14 points have come off turnovers, and in a crucial ball game, turnovers will be the decisive factor more than likely.
Yes, it's really, stats mean nothing. Scoreboard, as you indicated, is 14-0, but it seems to me that Elk Grove is not getting on track. They're finding ways and means to get themselves in trouble, and it just seems like they got to get themselves under control if they're going to win this football game.
Well, the destinies of two teams this season apparently headed in opposite directions. The invincibility and dynasty-like performance by Elk Grove the past two seasons waning as the 99 campaign nears the playoff time, and Valley coming on strong after some barren years. Short kickoff bounding and taken at the 15. Gathing straight ahead, follows the pile and returns about, what's he got, 25 or so on that. Nice run back and good wedge blocking, pushing the field right up the middle.
Yeah, well, once again, here is Elk Grove in great field position. Super field position. Let's see what they can do with it.
So Elk Grove, this would be the time to answer the bell if they're going to do it, trailing 14-0 and getting stung hard on a number of occasions tonight, and trailing by 14. Jones around the right side, and the option play gets him about 3 or so.
Great faking by Jones. Most of the people here in the stands, and I guess some of us up in the booth too, thought George had the football. Here you see the defensive coordinator of Valley making a call here, and here we're in second and about 6. And once again, there's so many things that are open in that Elk Grove arsenal that I haven't seen them use, Jeff.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Up the middle running, big room for George. Zigzag move and finally tripped up.
Well, there was one of them, Jim. That's one of the arsenals right there.
He's their bread and butter man, and he's one tackle away from going all the way, huh?
Absolutely. Just got him by the shoestring right there and brought him down. That's pretty hard to do with that young man. He's a tough kid.
So veteran Adam George hard charging for a first down.
Well, it seems to me Elk Grove can just pound them in here because they're much bigger up front on offense.
From the Valley 40, Vikings all over that to stuff it hard. Nice thrust from that right defensive side of the Valley Vikings.
They gave the ball to George once again, setting up the option here. And, of course, it's easy to say. Brian Booth made a big play for the Vikings. No one covered quarterback or pitchback. And don't be surprised if they pull that baby out and run that option.
Absolutely. Elk Grove will find that open.
No gain, 2nd and 10, up the middle running. Wow. Elk Grove's ground game has been very impressive. A bit sporadic, but they've had their fair share of big plays with gaping holes, and though their runners aren't burning up big numbers this season among the leading rushers, they're running to daylight very effectively.
Yeah, but Adam George is over 1,000 yards going into the football game, and he's been bread and butter for them in this game. Well, maybe Elk Grove is finally mixing up the count a little bit. Quarterback Jones mixing it up. As I mentioned earlier, Valley is very quick, but if you look at their lineup, they are not big up front. And it seems to me that the Elk Grove can dominate that line of scrimmage and also use their trap game because there's quite a size differential, Jeff.
1st and 5 after the penalty, and Adam George is going to be gang tackled. He gets a bit with a good little surge there, so it's going to bring up 2nd and about 3 or so, and Elk Grove's rolling here, and so's the clock at the 4:20. Second period slipping away from Cosumnes River College. Along with Jeff Hassan and Jim Domino, I'm Will James, and we're pleased to have you with us tonight on the Capital City Game of the Week. In this Delta League matchup so far, it's been controlled by Valley, but Elk Grove showing some kick here as DeBenedetto smacks it off the right side. And he might have himself an Elk Grove first down by a couple yards to spare.
Yeah, what you were saying there, Jim, about Elk Grove starting to just do a little smash mouth football and get after them. They're starting to exploit that weakness right now. Got Valley backpedaling a little bit. They're going to have to come up strong, make a stop here.
1st and 10, Elk Grove at the red zone. Left side to Benedetto, whacked and dropped, and there's the big two-way starter, Mr. Fullback, Mr. Linebacker with 100-plus tackles, and you like him a lot, Jim.
Oh, do I? Only a junior, still growing. Manas Hapoy, just a fixture. He stuffed the blocker, made the play, Will. Outstanding play.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 as the clock rolls at the 3:20. Hurd back up to the line, starting to sputter, needing something big here on 2nd down. Left side running, Adam George, boy, very tough as nails, spun away from Hapoy and made some daylight running to the inside. Howard assisting on the tackle. So give him about 5. He makes up the lost yardage plus 3 more. 3rd and 7, major down coming. Up to the line, 2:50 on the clock and rolling. Play fake. Jones to throw on the run, going for the corner. Incomplete. Howard with coverage. And it was Gathing out of the backfield trying for the flip.
You know, it still appears to me that Jones is holding the football too long. Anywhere from a half a second to a second too long, and stringing that play fake out to the sidelines. Again, it's easy from up here, but that receiver's open early. He's got to be able to throw earlier.
4th and 8, moment of decision. Elk Grove trailing 14-0 with 2:40 and change remaining here late in the second. And Elk Grove wants to talk over their 4th and 8 opportunity. Jeff, before we comment on that, let's go ahead and show the address to send the response to on the trivia quiz, and that's where you have to send a card or a letter. The address on T-Suite to Suite A, put it in my attention, Will James. The info we need on your card or letter is your name, address, phone number, and the answer, of course, to the trivia quiz. And, of course, we'll be announcing during halftime of the city championship game the winner. And let's do that. What's going on down in the Valley Huddle, guys?
Well, they got Elk Grove called a timeout here. We got.
You have got to hit that tackle, and you've got to hit the tight end, sir. Keep your heads up. Let's go, Wagner.
Well, I'd say that was a bit more than emphatic. Very basic anyway. 2:43. So it looks like field goal time. The Herd, if they don't run a fake, will try to get something out of this drive from Nolan Dunkley. Out of the hold of Kenny Diaz. He pulled it wide to the right, and that is a miss. Coming from about the 20, making it roughly a 30-yard attempt. I really couldn't see the field marker that well, but he had distance, pulled it wide to the right, and a real painful pill right there to swallow, coming up empty and still being blanked on the board.
Having the ball for 4 minutes on a very impressive drive, particularly coming right at them, other than the pass coming right at Valley, and then once again in the red zone coming away with nothing.
Yeah, that's going to be the key here. They're going up and down the field from 20 to 20 and walking away with no points, but they'll get that ironed out.
There's Howard coming to the near side, and he's hammered by 5 of the Herd. Lenzi, 43, Anthony Lenzi, along with 4 other herdsmen all over that. Jim, that's the kind of pursuit they're going to need to stay in this football game.
Oh, very definitely. The Herd is seemingly settled down and playing pretty decent defense here. One of the tough things, of course, is the fact is they've come away with nothing. They're down 14 points, and yet statistically, I'm sure it's just, as you've seen, it's a pretty even football game.
Frierson, handoff, up the middle running room. Not quite a first down, but very, very close. And Howard's getting lots of work in this series, but we want to let you know again that coming up at halftime, as we usually do, we'll have the campus close-ups, review the first half, and gab about a few things. What else are we going to do, Jim?
Well, I certainly do our coaches down on the field. And
wow, markers out, and that play aborted on 3rd and 2. 1:24 left here in the second period. That is rapidly expiring from Cosumnes River College, and this is the Capital City Game of the Week, and a marvelous crowd turning out tonight in mid-November under mild temperature conditions, you'd have to say, and certainly lots of color and pageantry in a key Delta League matchup. Glad to have you with us. This is kind of the way we like to have it, Jim.
Oh, this is nice. No, a nice nip in the air, no breeze, beautiful field conditions, and 2 good football teams with a lot at stake.
A lot at stake. The playoffs start next week, but right now this ball game will determine a lot. Boy, Elk Grove stingy. Not giving up much. They acted as though they knew what was coming on that play.
They sure did, and stopped the clock here. And now they go back and try to field a punt here. And maybe if they can field the punt and bring it back with a strong punt return, they can cash in and still get in the red zone and maybe put something on the board. I realize it's only 55 seconds, but they've been sort of snake bitten a little bit here in this first half, wouldn't you say, Will?
Absolutely snake bitten. Certainly got to be discouraging to be blanked here, 14-0. This ball game far from over, and really they're only a break or so away from getting right back in it, so they certainly shouldn't be dragging their chins as we near intermission. Just 55 seconds left. The timeout, a quick one. And right now it's Valley in punt formation on 4th and 5. We have to keep our eyes.
Kenny Diaz is a good return man. He's standing very shallow and apparently not going to field a kick, but now he is. Now he's going to let it bounce. Oh, my goodness.
Takes a big Valley roll. It costs him about 15 yards in field position. So with just 43 seconds left, I doubt if Elk Grove will really try to exercise too much here, and at this point have to settle for being content with walking into the locker room trailing by 14. But it's been the Valley Vikings making things happen, but the big defensive play is the pivotal
play in that first half so far.
Oh, yes, highlighted by the interception return of Frierson, which was a gem when he broke on the football, scampered 80 yards, and he showed that he has a lot of speed. But that punt return of Elk Grove kind of mystifies me.
Jones gives it to Gathing, and he tries to come to the near side, and he's chopped after maybe a yard or so. Nothing much doing there. And just 20 seconds and clock rolling. There might be one more play left in the intermission, and we need to let you know again as the herd lines up quickly with 15. Jones to throw and has a hitch to the near side, complete for just a minimal gain to Diaz. But it's been the wonderful support of our underwriters that make this presentation possible to the local community, and we tip our caps to Athletics Unlimited, the Air Force ROTC, to Bleachers on University, and to Brinka's Collision Repair Facility. Also, Dimple Records, Amy Hardware, JR's Texas Barbecue celebrating 12 years in SAC, Jeff Hassan and New York Life, the Hiram Johnson West Campus, Leatherby's, Skills Athletics with B.T. Thompson, and the St. Francis High School Friars Club. So the running play will finish up the first half, and it's been a good one for the hosts, and that means the Valley Vikings playing here at Cosumnes River College. We're halfway home on the Capital City Game of the Week. Valley 14, Elk Grove nothing. Stay with us. We have the usual halftime activities, and of course, you know, this second half is going to be a doozy, but we're still going to bounce down to field level and pick up Jeff Hassan because he's going to try to collar Elk Grove co-head coach Dave Hoskins, and when he is ready to roll, we'll be ready to roll. But I've been most impressed, Jim Domino, with the way Valley remained composed after the early fumble recovery and not getting discouraged. And sometimes things have a way of coming back to you. They got the ball later on with a fumble recovery, and it set up a TD for him on a sweep by Lewis. So that and the Frierson interception return for a TD have been the keys for the Valley Vikes in that first half of play. Let's go down to field level. I know that Jeff Hassan is standing by with Dave Hoskins. How's it going, Jeff? Well, let's hold the phone for a moment on that. I see Jeff and I see Dave, and we'll just ask you to hang with us. Boy, part of a huge crowd here tonight at Cosumnes River College. They have really turned out for this one. All the adjacent parking lots here at the college are full tonight. Football fans from the area converging on this site, despite Laguna Creek being just a short distance away.
Well, this is the main attraction tonight, as we know. We've got Elk Grove dominating the time of possession, but certainly not the scoreboard.
Well, I guess we'll have to do without our coach's interview. Let's take a break. We're at the intermission. Stay there with us because we have good stuff for you at the half and lots more to come in the third quarter. Right now, Valley on top and in control. We'll be back.
This edition of the Capital City Game of the Week is being brought to you by Los Rios Community College District. Call for registration information or visit our website. When you choose your college, choose the best. Athletics Unlimited, where every day is game day, dedicated to supporting education and student athletics. And by JR's Texas Barbecue. It's the taste of authentic Texas barbecue, right here in Sacramento. Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
Committed to the total education of young women. St. Francis High School, challenging the body, inspiring the mind, touching the heart.
Education, it's our future.
Elk Grove High School has provided quality learning to its students for over 100 years. Housed at its current location since 1964, both students and staff are looking towards the future to stay on the cutting edge of education. New facilities and access to improved technology are very important to first-year principal Frank Lucia.
Elk Grove High sits in the center of Elk Grove, California. It is a school that has a very rich tradition. It's over 100 years old. It's a school that is on the move, has a very good blend of academic programs along with elective programs. 13 advanced placement courses are offered here at the school. And as it moves in the 21st century, we are hoping for an abundance of technology that will be offered also to our students.
Students at Elk Grove scored significantly higher than the national average in all 5 subjects of the California Achievement Test. Many students are already looking toward their collegiate future, taking advantage of the 13 advanced placement classes available to them.
The AP classes basically require like a higher level of thinking. We're instructed a little bit differently. It's more independent learning, whereas maybe a normal class would just kind of require you to do a lot of smaller assignments. So I'm getting like a wide variety of higher level kind of college-like courses, which prepares me in whatever field I choose to major in.
In addition to the challenging curriculum of honors and AP classes, Elk Grove offers several art classes which are unique to the school. Elk Grove has been selected as one of only 2 high schools to display some of their work later in the year at the Berkeley Museum in Berkeley, California, an honor that reflects the superior teaching and creative abilities possessed by members of the art program.
The ceramics class here at Elk Grove High School, it's a really good program. The instructor, Dave Kent, he's been around here for a long time, knows what he's doing, he's got lots of friends in the program, so he's always got, you know, the latest and greatest instructional tips and everything, and he's kind of got the, you know, the homemade, best way to fix it kind of thing. It's a fun class.
Another unmatched program at Elk Grove is the Agriculture Environment Science Academy, a 4-year plan that was ranked #1 in the state in 1996. Working with the future farmers of America, students are taught in both a normal classroom setting and in the lab. In engaging courses like meat processing, the students actually receive unprocessed meat, learn to prepare it with proper training, and ship it out to stores in the area to provide funds for the program. This supervised experience plan is tailored to the student's field of study and provides outstanding opportunities for the future.
This ROP Meats program is a program designed to work in conjunction with the rest of our agriculture department here at Elk Grove High School. Part of the instruction is vocational, so the student learns a skill that is saleable. Part of the instruction is health and nutrition. A significant portion is also from consumer point of view. Students, when they come out of this program, I hope will be better consumers of meat and meat products.
Based on its high academic success rate and innovative programs, Elk Grove High School has earned a reputation of excellence. With quality leadership and a commitment to academic growth, it's a reputation that Elk Grove will undoubtedly sustain for years to come.
Welcome back to Cosumnes River College. We're at the intermission. It's a Delta League battle right now. Valley in charge 14-0 over Elk Grove. I'm Will James with Jim Domino and Jeff Hassan. Also standing beside from the Sacramento Bee, Joe Davidson. It's been the first half controlled by Valley coach Domino, but Joe, I know you've got kind of a special spin on this, not just because you were the prep editor of the Sacramento Bee and you've been keeping a close eye on things, but this is one of those kind of games where Elk Grove is perhaps showing that the last remnants of what has been 2 remarkable seasons, and Valley now putting together something very special after having been down for a while.
Valley's showed a lot. I think Terry Cox is a serious coach of the year. He's come down here with this kind of straightforward Cox box offense. You can see it on the film what they do. It's a smash mouth. We're going to come at you. He's put a lot of discipline in here. They've gone from 118-1 the last 2 years to this on the cusp of a tie of a Delta League championship. Elk Grove, we were so spoiled with last year's team. We may never see another team like that with that offense, with Briggs and Dinwiddie and all those guys and those records that they set. They're all juniors on offense, mostly for Elk Grove, so we can see Elk Grove again next year. But then again, Valley is mostly juniors on offense as well. Only Keith Lewis is the primary senior, and we saw what he did on that first run, so he's going to be in the Pac-10 somewhere next year. But these two teams aren't going anywhere. The killer, though, is who they both get in the first round. You lose this game, you go to Jesuit. You win this game, you go to Grant. It's like, wow, where's the real plum here?
Yeah.
Well,
no gifts.
None at all.
There's some classy teams right there, and I know you think highly of Nevada Union. Of course, Jesuit's been near the top spot and in the top spot since early on. How does it all boil down among those 6 real heavy D1 contenders we talked about?
I think it's, I was talking to Jim Domino about this before the game, but you've got several teams who look awfully good, including Johnson, who we haven't talked about. They've got the wing T going now. Terry Stark's got those guys knowing how to run that wing T. They're a totally different team than they were earlier this year. Nevada Union's a real scary team to me because they're the only team in the playoffs, Division 1, 2, or 3, with one-way starters all the way across the board. They're bigger than they have been in the past. They've got big defensive ends, huge interior alignment. They've got 3, 4, 5 different speed backs. They run wide. They're very fast there.
They have fresh legs in the second half.
Oh, all the time. And they just grind you. They have a lot of interceptions, so their defensive backs are doing very well. Jesuit's the team that still intrigues me, and I still think they're my favorite to win the section championship because they have a lot of experience, more experience than anybody coming back, and they can pass the ball. With Elfman, you've got the great power back and Jeff Ryman. You got the great speed element and Charles Bell. You've got Kelly Miko, who just hammers people as a linebacker. However, we have seen twice this year, Valley ran all over him, still lost because of the experience, the second half. And then Johnson ran all over him, still held on to win those things. And Jim, you said before the game that a real wild card for Jesuit, and I totally agree, is Jared Siegel. He's not a quarterback, he's not a running back. He's a great punter, kicker, and defensive back. And that could be a difference in a playoff game.
He's worth points coming in the ball game on what he can do.
Well, it looks like the Valley Vikes are the first team to return from the field here after the intermission. And when Coach Terry Cox hits the track, which he just has, our Jeff Hassan will grab him for a few seconds and get his spin on the first half of play. And right now it's been certainly a first half that Valley has held the upper hand on top 14-0, getting a couple of big plays. But Elk Grove, the veteran coaching staff, has a way of turning things around. We'll see if we can also get a word with Coach Dave Hoskins. But I have to really think that Valley, in this first half, taking the lead and forging this lead, has really answered the bell in a way that they needed to establish what they hope is going to be a regular thing for them.
Well, I hope this, as what I mentioned in our pregame show, Will, is Valley has had a tendency in some of the big games to tire a little bit in the latter part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And we're not going to wish that upon anyone here tonight, but they're going to have to answer the bell and challenge at that point in time, because it seems like their smaller defense gets a little tired in the latter part of the ball game. And I still think that Elk Grove has a strong chance here if they let that front offensive line of theirs dominate, and throw the football and not wait for third down. They're wide open. Underneath coverage of Valley is wide open for the short passing game.
Well, we have seen offensive diversity from a couple of squads this year, but a number of those contenders are overloaded in one dimension or the other. Let's bounce it to the track. Jeff's caught up with Terry Cox. Kevin is aboard. Let's swing it, guys. What you got, Jeff?
Coach Cox, solid first half. What halftime adjustments are you going to make in order to maintain this lead?
I think we have to establish our running game a little bit better. Elk Grove is stopping our running game. We've got to complete a couple of passes. I think Elk Grove has done a good job on defense. I think we've got the breaks. We're on top right now, but we're going to have to work really hard to stay on top of Elk Grove because, like any good football team, we feel that they can come back. So we're going to have to go out and play better defense, complete some passes, and establish the run better.
Defensively, are you keying on any one particular player for Elk Grove?
No, we're not. We don't key on anybody. All we do is we try to play team defense. We try to cover the gaps. And if everybody covers the gaps and does the responsibility, we feel we can shut Elk Grove down.
Outstanding, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much, Jeff Hassan.
Back up to you, Will and James.
Coach Cox has to be delighted as we're just about ready for tonight's second half kickoff. Valley on top 14-0. They'll do the kicking. It's Duncan to do the honors, and the line drive bounder taken by one of the up men, Cameron Lee, who had some time at running back last season but relegated to linebacking duty this year. And Elk Grove has above average field position, Jim, to open this third quarter. This might be their most critical series in this entire ball game based on the halftime score.
Very important here for your kids to respond and make a nice drive. They got plenty of time. There's no reason to abandon your game plan and just go ahead with it and put something on the board. Now, once again, they open up, Will, again with that first play where they get 5 yards of crack on first down. And that's been primarily running right at the Valley D, in the heart of the Valley D, and or trapping. And I can see them using that more.
Certainly the clock, not a key factor by any means. Elk Grove, though their offense is by no means comparable to last year's team, what team could be, they've got still abundant time to rally up in this football game, and they have driven the ball impressively between the 30s, I guess you could say, but still a big goose on the scoreboard. So the running play nets a bit, and that brings up 3rd and 3, and third down conversions from here on out critical. Early third, nice to have you with us on Game of the Week. Jones keeps it, comes to the near side, cuts it up as a flag comes out, and he's got well more than enough for a first down as the ball pops loose, but we'll wait and see about the penalty. Dropped on the Elk Grove side of midfield.
Well, it's unfortunate here coming up. We'll watch the ref.
Well, we talked about penalties, Jeff, at the outset, and that pretty much did in Elk Grove a week ago against Oak Ridge, and that was a toughie there.
Well, the penalties will hurt you, and you see a big gain wiped out right there, and that whole left side, that run, it was just caved down, and you had a lot of running room, but unfortunately a penalty knocked it out.
Well, it was an excellent call. They're running inside with George, and now fake to him and run the option, and it's just a question here with 3rd and 10. Appears like a passing down for them, for everybody in the ballpark, but who knows? Maybe they'll still run a run play.
Gathering in motion on 3rd and 10 from the Elk Grove 33. Jones to throw, fires right, and a breakup. Wow, closing quick on the football, speedy Keith Lewis. He had the flat covered, and Diaz could not make the grab. Nice D.
Well, even if he makes the grab, you've got about a 3-4 yard route with 10 yards to go. I don't understand this. Again, we're in our 10th game of the season, and here's Elk Grove punting. It just
4th and 10. Hurd has to give up the football, as in punt formation they send DiBenedetto in motion. Sideways bounding punt, a short one. Not a good trade in field position. As a result, the Vikings set up nicely outside the Valley 40. Make it 1st and 10 from the Vikes 42. Valley on top, 14-0. A couple of big plays were first half highlights for the Vikes, but the one looming the biggest at this point, the interception return by quarterback and defensive back Larry Frierson, who's under center now. And the Elk Grove's going to have to watch itself. Here's Lewis for a couple. Nice low tackle, Anthony Lindsay, 43. Puts a stop on that, and he got a wee bit of help from, looks like ever-present Douglas MacDonald, last to get up. Give him a couple, call it 2nd and 8, maybe a bit less than that. 9:25, early 3rd from Cosumnes River College, and the Vikings looking poised and casual at this point.
Yeah, they are, and they can, if they, with good clock management here, they can use off some time.
Well, speaking of clock management, Jim, this offense is conducive to burning up a lot of time on the clock.
Deep throw, Frierson up the right side, incomplete.
Well, it certainly is. It's run oriented, and they're going to come at you and come at you and come at you. You're absolutely right. The strength of the Elk Grove D this year, the linebacking core of Cameron Lee and Lindsey, McDonald, and George, with some occasional work by Reinhardt and Di Benedetto. It seems to me that, once again, between those 4 linebackers in there, they should get a lot of tackles and a little blitzing inside, get a little penetration into that backfield.
Incomplete, so 3rd and long. Frierson, a short flip this time, and his fullback juggles under coverage from Douglas MacDonald. So Apoy cannot make the grab. 4th now and 7, and the Vikes fire 3 blanks, 3 and out, and we'll have to cough up the football here out of punt formation.
Yeah, they're going to try to pin Elk Grove deep here. And again, Elk Grove came up strong with Valley's first possession and put a nice stop there and put them in a punting situation. So we'll see what Elk Grove will do with their second possession coming up.
Nice hang time boot, and Diaz will have to let that bounce. Now he's going to go ahead and field that and step through traffic and get about the better part of 8 on that. Nice gutty run back after looking like he was going to settle for having it downed. The Herd's going to need some spark and a couple of plays, maybe a couple of their leading players taking a chance or two to make something happen here.
Yeah, I'd say along with Gaithing, guys like Thaxton and Stefan George are going to have to come in a football game with their speed and step it up.
First down up the middle, running good deception and about an 8-yard bite on first down. 2nd and short upcoming. Adam George, again, the benefit of terrific line blocking in a big hole.
I want to make mention to go back to that last series. We talked about how important it is Valley to control the game, all of us. However, in the last drive with a 14-0 lead, they had the football 52 seconds. That's it.
A good point, Jim. Well, that one pass play stopped the clock.
Wow, great deception that time. Valley got spread out and taken advantage of. Adam George up the gut. First down, Herd moved the stakes.
How about that hit, Will?
Yeah, he was going. Yeah.
Well, Valley has a couple heavy reps in the big hitting department on their defense. They're 2 inside backers. George, big hole right side, but shoved back after a gain of 3 or 4. He gets into Valley territory to the Vikes 49 with about 7.5 left here, nearing midway 3rd. 14-0 Vikings, getting a scoring run from Keith Lewis in the first, and an interception return for a TD by Larry Frierson in the second, and that's where we stand at 14-0. Each serious Elk Grove threat has been turned away. Big room to Benedetto. You know, Jim, he doesn't have big yardage this season, but he's a hard running back, and he makes his presence known on defense as well. Andrew Benedetto.
I like him a lot because, you know, he's got about maybe close to 300 yards this year, 228 going in the game. He has an 8.4 average per carry. He is a tough one, and you can count on him. You can count on him, no turnovers, no fumbles, and he belongs in that position, no question.
3rd and 1 after that carry. Key down, everybody packed in tight. Pow! The Herd slams it and comes up with an easy first down.
Yeah, they did. They just muscled up right there and put it right up the gut.
Well, that's where it's at, and with enough of that going inside, look for that wing-back trap with Gaithing coming around on the counter off that play fake. And as you know, we saw him break last week, and he's very capable of breaking one.
Again up the middle, the Herd doing a nice job of moving bigger players off the ball and finding the gaps with some good inside running.
Absolutely. The last couple of plays we've seen going right up the gut. I've been noticing Elk Grove attacking the weak side or the short side of the field, whatever you prefer there, and we'll see what happens coming up.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Jones has the pill, pitches late. Left side running, Gaving, popped hard. a big hit.
Well, we saw another big hit there, Will, but not until after he got the first down.
Oh, he moved the chains, and looked like we have number 4 listed as Terry Baskin with a good hit on Gaithing. But once again, they've got to respect the inside running ability of George with that play fake inside, opening up that option.
And those previous plays you saw open that outside perimeter up.
1st and 10 for the Herd. Wow, Adam George wriggles away and gets to the 10. Boy, the deception has really, really befuddled Valley on this particular drive. Adam George, again, making the Vikings pay.
Well, I would say right now, thus far, to me, that was the best fake I've seen out of quarterback Jones and the whole backfield carrying it out. What do you think, Jeff?
Oh, I agree, absolutely, Jim. Well, we're back here in the red zone again, and Elk Grove has definitely got to come up with some points here.
5:40, clock rolls, flip side, 3rd quarter, 1st and goal from the 10. Jones to George, and he's wrapped up. Ishmael Thrower, number 5, with a bear hug. And the two-way starter, a big stop right there. He's got better than 100 tackles on the season.
Well, everybody was blocked but Ishmael, number 5, and he soloed it and wrapped it up real quick on George, because George has really been going hard inside and giving the Herd a great second effort.
He may have lost a foot or two on that. Still, 2nd goal from the 10. To the other side, Ishmael Thrower has another solo stop on Adam George.
You know, Coach said he wasn't keying anybody, did he?
He did say that.
What do you make of that, coaches, on those last 2 carries?
Well, you saw that Adam George has gotten the bulk of the yardage going down here into the red zone, and you know, they're giving him to pay dirt here.
And they're letting this good linebacker Thrower roam a little bit there, and boy, he's a good one.
Loss of 3. Loose football, and Gathing may have come up with it. No, Valley got it. Somebody snuck in for the Vikings, and the Herd coughs up the football. It may have been Keith Lewis.
Boy, that's crucial, Will.
Keith Lewis and Kevin Lacefield both were there, but I believe it was Lewis. Need to get a confirmation. Devastating turnover right there after 1st and goal at the 10.
You have the ball for 4 minutes and change, get in the red zone, get down to about a 10, and then suddenly, 3 plays later, you're without possession of the football.
That's right.
Keith Lewis stepped through traffic and run for 10 or 12. Correction on the call. Deron Howard with the carry, the junior running back. Short and light, but considered by Coach Cox to be the hardest runner out of all of his backs and the one that breaks the most tackles, and he showed off some of that right there.
Yes, he did, Will.
Lewis working to the far side, strung out well and contained by the Herd.
Yeah, that was excellent pursuit by the Elk Grove Thundering Herd defense.
Well, number 27 had a hand in that one. Looked like, along with 33, Aaron White and Doug McDonald.
So Frierson returns to the Vikes huddle after a quick sideline chit-chat. Clock rolls at 3:15. 3rd period. Elapsing quick here from Cosumnes River College. Vikings dodging a cannonball with the fumble recovery. Howard did a nice job stepping away from the first 2 defenders and manages to get something out of nothing there, but it's going to bring up 3rd and about 5.
It almost appeared that they mishandled the football there. It looked like it was kind of a high toss, and it looked like the hole was there, but then it closed with him having to bring it inside.
Sure did. Could have been, with any more contact there could have been a fumble occurred. There was. Timing was off.
A key 3rd and 5, but whistle stop play as we saw Howard go in motion. And we'll get further clarification from our game referee, Bubba Hurd. He's working tonight with Jerry Stannard, Larry Bazance, and Eddie Fitzgerald Craig Myers.
Says stuff like that.
Yeah.
They took that away from us years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Jerry, that's an administrative thing. That
kind of looks like no comment.
You know, I don't know what do you.
Can they get a penalty for that?
No. It's no different than you walking out there with headsets on. I mean, they've taken all that stuff away from us.
We can't hear. We can't hear.
They haven't missed a count all night.
Not when they're on offense.
No, you got.
Well, Terry Cox definitely giving earful to Bubba.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to pick up that flag. What was the problem? Did you see there, Jim?
Well, I thought maybe you had an inadvertent flag or a possible equipment infraction, and that's what we're trying to check on now.
Yeah, also, you know, looked like there was movement in the interior line there, so might have had
on the Valley side
or the other side. Actually, both teams moved, but looks like Bubba Hurd is sorting it out with both coaches.
Let's see if we can eavesdrop a little bit.
I'll put them a little farther up the hill. I mean, it's out of my hands. There's nothing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm asking as a favor to me. If you don't want to, tell me you don't want to. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay? Just, hey, just. I didn't know you could hear.
Okay, wind her up. We're ready to go as the clock rolls at 2:25. Valley still staring at a 3rd and 5 after having that last play preempted with a penalty.
Well, Valley might be assessed to delay a game here if they don't get this snap off in a hurry.
Taking their time getting this one off. 2:05 now. And that one was a little out of sync.
Well, not only out of sync, but as you mentioned, Jeff, I'm waiting for the delay of game signal here because as we're watching the clock tick off, it seems to me we were beyond.
Right, I agree, Jim. You see Coach Cox is really upset because it really affected the continuity of the game, and it did. It got both teams out of sync there, so he has a legitimate gripe there.
Well, right now, Bubba Hurd, the head ref, is not only telling Coach Cox he's got a problem with one of the assistants he wants him to take control of.
Certainly the top of a scenario where we don't want to see any outside interference have an impact on the football game, and there may be even some type of complaint regarding the Valley band.
Well, I think you hit that dead on, Jim. Coach Cox is talking with his assistant right there, and I think he just told him how it's going to be.
So here we go after the penalty, 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Up the middle running, stuffed. Wow, we got this ball game slowly getting out of control. A late penalty marker. After a sequence of moderate confusion and penalty, now temper starting to flare a bit as Elk Grove gets flipped with a personal foul.
Well, I felt the ball was live when that block was thrown. I don't feel that was a late hit. It was a violent hit. To me, the ball it was a live ball.
Well, the problem was that Elk Grove had Valley bottled up for 4th down, and now they got 1st down.
A fumble recovery, and Elk Grove has the pill at the Valley 44. Wow. Blake Summers, 77, was in the vicinity. I don't know if he was able to fall on it, but in any case, after what I would have to consider an ugly series of downs, a big turnover.
What we talked about in our pregame show was the ability of Valley to finish off an opponent. They have to be very careful here because they have been in a little disarray. And if Elk Grove now can cash in on this and finally maybe put a score on, I think you're going to see a great football game down the wire, because momentum is ready to shift here if Elk Grove won't self-destruct. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I agree. The playoff experience and being back-to-back, they're still the back-to-back section champions, and they need to show their poise and their confidence here, take the ball and score, and we got a ball game again. But do not count Elk Grove out. They are a solid coaching staff and a solid ball club with some excellent weapons, as you gentlemen mentioned before, and this is a key possession.
Well, after giving up the football at the 10, Elk Grove has the pill, and Jones keeps it, and a marker comes out as he runs for about 10. 2 markers, 3 markers, and I'll tell you, the officiating crew tonight, Jim, has its hands full keeping this one straight, you might say.
Well, I'll tell you something. We've got some flags coming from center field.
Another personal foul charged against the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. You can hear the Valley crowd. The last 5 or 6 minutes have been regrettable, I guess you could say. Certainly not exciting, but in any case, the Herd shoved back to the Elk Grove 45. 1st and a mile. No gain.
Well, Will, as mentioned before, it's going to be key as to who maintains their composure here and settles down and plays this 4th quarter.
Two-way starter Alan Cruz with the stop. He wears number 50. We're in the final 35 seconds of the 3rd period. Elk Grove trying to make a game of it. Jones to throw, has some time. He's going deep up the field, and Gavin can't get to it. Incomplete near the Valley 25. Double coverage from a pair of Vikings, but still Gavin came open and turned at the last instant, and the ball was over the other shoulder.
Yes, he was open, and Jones had protection. But once again, what got them into the juice jam was that clipping penalty, which put them in a big hole with suddenly now 3rd and plus 20, Jeff.
Yeah, 3rd and 20, you're looking at possible screen here from Elk Grove. They run the screen really well. We might see it here. This would be a good call for it. Valley's got their ears pinned back.
Tight end Hodges changes sides, and it's Gavin in motion. Jones keeps it, doesn't pitch. Boom! He's cut down after a 4 or 5 yard run on a hard shot. Keith Lewis among the Vikings in the area. And I'll tell you, playing a very impressive game is roving inside linebacker Kevin Lacefield, number 14.
Wow.
He and 27 DeAndre Hearn have made a number of impressive stops in that Valley linebacking crew.
Along with sophomore.
4th and about 17 or 16 or 17 as the clock expires here in the 3rd period. Let's salute our underwriters. They are bringing you tonight's ball game. Athletics Unlimited, the Air Force ROTC, bleachers on University and Brinka's collision repair facility. We tip our caps to Dimple Records and Amy Hardware and JR's Texas Barbecue, celebrating 12 years in Sacramento. To Jeff Hassan and New York Life, the Hiram Johnson West Campus, Leatherby's, B.T. Thompson and Skills Athletics, and the St. Francis High School Friars Club. We thank you, and please give us a call at that number and that extension if you'd like to extend some support to the Capital City Game of the Week. Stay with us. We've played 3 at Cosumnes River College. Valley in control 14-0, but don't go away.
You're watching the Capital City Game of the Week right here on Access Sacramento, Cable Channel 73.
This edition of the Capital City Game of the Week is being brought to you by Dimple Records, new and used CDs, cassettes, movies, games, and gifts. The insanity begins here. The Air Force ROTC program. Call Lieutenant Richards for more information. Los Rios Community College District. Call for registration information or visit our website. When you choose your college, choose the best. And by Athletics Unlimited, where every day is game day, dedicated to supporting education and student athletics. Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
Johnson West Campus, winner of the 1999 Gold Medal for Academic Excellence. West Campus is a college preparatory high school with a rich tradition of academic and athletic achievement, where students experience education as it should be.
This is David. Oh, hi. This is what David's done. David went to college. Annapolis. David taught himself to play piano, the sax, even the bagpipes. Well, maybe not the bagpipes. David was NBA Rookie of the Year. He's also been to the Olympics twice. David even became a naval officer. David's sure done a lot. But you know one thing David's never done? Drugs. David doesn't do drugs. Maybe that's why he's done so much.
Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports are proud to present the Capital City Game of the Week, but they need your help. Your financial underwriting support is vital to maintain these special sports presentations. Interested businesses or individuals who also believe in this coverage of student athletics can help by joining these dedicated underwriters of the Capital City Game of the Week. For more information, call 456-8600, extension 167. Punt formation for Elk Grove as we open the fourth period, and the Skylar Giles line drive is taken by Lewis, and he returns it about 6 or 7 yards. Good field position for the Vikings, but Elk Grove unable to do anything with the turnover it was able to come up with, and after that rash of penalties, we open the fourth period still with Valley on top, 14-0.
You know, in that quarter, Will, 2/3 of the quarter was dominated in times of possession with no score accountability. Elk Grove has 8 minutes out of the possible 12 in that third quarter, comes away with nothing. They dominated the first half in time of possession. As you know, time of possession doesn't win football games. Crossing that goal line does. But it just is amazing how everything has been hurting them. Turnovers plus penalties.
Absolutely, Jim.
Well, there's a happy Vikings mascot. And to the left side, near side, Lewis cuts it up, and he's got close to a first down carry. Keith Lewis, bread and butter, 6'2", about 185, senior all-purpose, multi-talent. Not a bad way to start your drive. 1st and 10, Vikes.
Well, he's a gem. They gave him kind of an offensive rest a little bit in that second quarter after working him real hard in the first quarter. They used Howard more. Third quarter, of course, they didn't have the ball very much. He's playing all defense, and here's the fourth quarter now. He looks like he's got some fresh legs.
Yeah, absolutely. Valley's going to need to protect the football here, and the dew's starting to roll in out here at Cosumnes River. And possession by Valley is going to be key here. We see another nice run.
We talked about how hard Deron Howard is to drop despite being only about 5'7", 165, and Coach Cox considers him one of the toughest players to drop in the area. And again, despite diminutive size, hard to drop.
Well, at 5'7", he's very strong. Very strong. He's got good legs. Runs very hard for his size.
Absolutely. Kept the legs driving. That's the key.
So Valley looking at 2nd and 4 early here in the fourth period. The toss goes back, and Lewis turns it up. I don't think he's got a first, but he's got about half of what he needs, probably about 3rd and 2 upcoming at the 10:15 early here in the fourth.
Well, you know, they try to go wide and they pull City Hall there. I mean, the whole, you know, at least 5 were pulling. So they pitch and pull, and he just couldn't turn the corner. Now you're in the third, and almost 2 yards. It's big down for Elk Grove.
Yes, it is. If Elk Grove can stop here, they've got plenty of time on the clock, work for a big score, and then try to make another stop.
Clock rolls at 9:45. Frierson back to the field after a sideline conference. 3rd and about 2. Everybody packed in tight. Lewis to the near side, turns the corner and has a big first down. Well, they went back to their strong suit, and it turns out to be Keith Lewis, and he got what they needed.
Well, he had a host of blockers in front of him.
Did you see who the host of blockers was that was out in front of him? It was the quarterback there. Did you see him throw his block?
Pitch and block.
Yes, he did.
And, you know, once again, they're turning to Lewis. We're turning to Lewis, and he's the bread and butter man. He's their money man when it comes down to the wire, and I can understand that. With the timeout coming up, they're turning to Lewis and trying to move the chains, making some first downs, and keeping the ball away from Elk Grove.
Well, on the timeout, we'll let you know what's upcoming next week, though we have a lack of specifics. We might be able to tease you a little bit, but the bottom line is, as you see on our graphic there, opening round coverage of the Sac Joaquin sectional playoffs, the first of 4 that we'll have for you on the Capital City Game of the Week, Access Sacramento TV 73. And that first round, Jim and Jeff, look like lots to choose from. Might be a tough selection.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, you know how us two would be leaning in that category.
I think so.
However, there are a lot of feature games in there coming up, and Jesuit's going to be hosting one of these teams. And, of course, Johnson's going to be traveling to, we assume, possibilities of going to Elk Grove to play Laguna. And we got some NU that's going to entertain up at NU. Is that where you want to go, Will?
No, I like Grass Valley, but I really don't want to do a road trip to that extent. But I think we'll find something good. Meantime, Frierson has all day to throw and goes for Lewis, and he can't quite get to it. Coverage in the Elk Grove secondary, Aaron White, 27.
We've got another interesting matchup. Grant's lurking in the wings, looking for the winner of this football game right here, and what could be a very attractive matchup, the winner having to play Grant. What do you think, Jeff?
Absolutely. You know, this year the first round seems to be a little more parity within the first round of the playoffs this year. So there's some selections and some good choices and some good matchups, and that's nice to see here in Sacramento.
9:09, still early in the fourth, but Elk Grove in trouble. 2nd and 10 for Valley. Frierson to Lewis to the near side, not much room, but he steps out of trouble, hurdles a man, and nearly makes a first down. What do we got, Jim? Penalty marker back near the line of scrimmage.
I'm very well. We're waiting for that, Will. I have to comment once again on Lewis using his blockers. He keeps the ball in his outside hand. His inside hand is free like it's supposed to be. He just sets it up very nicely. He's patient, and then he turns it up when he has to. So give him a lot of credit there.
Holding.
Yeah, he set that run up real nice.
At the 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Unfortunately, there was a holding penalty, and it brings it back. So nice effort and some good blocking out front, but bringing up 2nd and long, huh, Will?
2nd and the better part of what are we looking at here? About 17 to go. Frierson back to the huddle, and Vikings in full command right now. Still, though, with better than 9 minutes remaining. Valley on top, 14-0. No scoring since the 2nd period. Both squads blanked in the 3rd. Lewis again to the near side. Nice slash, stays on his feet, breaks 2 tackles, and cuts back before he's dropped from behind. Boy, I'll tell you, about a 17-yard gain. Chasing the play from behind, I think it was Big Joseph Terry, 78. Able to cover a lot of ground from the line of scrimmage, Jim. I think we need to take one more look here at your man Keith Lewis, breaking 2 tackles there, a 3rd tackle there.
There's another one, and he finally goes down. Chased in there by the big man.
Joseph Terry, got to tip my cap to him, coming back from a serious injury and showing downfield pursuit for a big man.
He runs that play to perfection.
1st and 10, Keith Lewis again doing the honors. Here he comes. Boy, they're wearing this out on the sweep to the left. He's making yardage every time.
Well, the other good thing is they're running to the short side of the field to their left.
Yeah, but
where the good footing is.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me about running to the short side of the field in the 4th quarter is the fact that they need to stay in bounds.
That's a good point, Jeff.
Get your yardage, stay in bounds, keep the clock moving. Good pickup right there, but keep the clock running.
Excellent.
Turns out to be a run of 8, call it 2nd and 2, but he is knocked out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 8:21, as you say, Coach Hassan. Not helping the Vikes any, but close to another 1st down, and they're commanding right now with Lewis leading the way on the ground. And of course, Coach Cox pretty happy about where he's got the score and the clock at this point in the game.
Oh, certainly is. He did go out of bounds, and I agree with that. However, Elk Grove hasn't touched the football this quarter.
Inside running by the big fullback, and Manasi Apoy knows how to pick those up. Short yardage bulldozer, tough to drop.
Oh yeah, he's coming out of the game right now. Looks like he's got an arm that needs some attention. I don't think it's major.
I don't believe he made his customary impact on this game, Jim. I think he's not at full capacity and has played probably more sparingly tonight than in previous weeks, but in that instance, certainly reliable for that 1st down carry. 1st and 10 Vikes. Under 8 minutes now here in the 4th. Howard has the toss, and the quarterback leads the way. Boy, I'll tell you, this Valley running game, very, very tough to defend. And they finally do go to the wide side of the field and work for about 5, not quite. Well, remind you again that we have an address for you to visit. The welcome mat has been rolled out for the Game of the Week website. It's still in its initial stages, but we invite you to peek in for a browse and monitor that as we add to it along the way. Sacramento.org/GOTW, as in Game of the Week. 2nd and 6 at the 7-10 Valley. Wow, that's not going to work as Lewis is dropped in the backfield.
Well, they sniffed that one out, Will. Good penetration.
Yeah, Doug McDonald was right there, blitzed through, cut through the running lane, read it well, and put Lewis down. It's amazing. 2, 3, 4, 5 guys won't put him down, but a solo tackle by McDonald puts him down. He wrapped up and had a textbook tackle. So that's a big down because now they're in the 3rd and 9, and clock's still running. Just they've used up half a quarter here. We're coming up on the 6-minute mark, and the clock is still running.
Clock is running, and that is one of the bigger enemies right now of Elk Grove, trailing 14-0. Howard's got the pill, and he slithers probably a couple of yards shy of a 1st down, but another good gain. And we want to remind you that near the conclusion of tonight's contest, we'll be announcing the Capital City Game of the Week players of the game. I've already given the Imperator his ballot as we see a fallen Viking, and we'll apprise you of that scenario a bit later, certainly hoping that's not a serious injury of any kind, and certainly caution being taken on the field as the Viking trainers attending. But we invite you to join us for our recognition of the honored student athletes that we'll salute in the post-game show and name our Capital City Game of the Week players of the game. So stay with us. The injury comes at the 6:12, about midway 4th, and a definite hush falling over the football stadium here at Cosumnes River College.
Yeah, he's not moving too much there. Looks like an interior lineman. I still haven't gotten a number there, Will.
I'll update you as it becomes available. Certainly an unfortunate circumstance at this stage of tonight's game, and they're being very carefully about not moving the fallen player too hastily.
Looks like number 74, Will.
Josh O'Meara one of the key starters for the Valley Vikings, being assisted, and he's not bearing any weight on the right leg.
Well, that's unfortunate to see that.
Big junior center. That would be a key loss for them. 6'2", 275, and only a junior.
Yeah, that could be a big-time loss to the interior offensive line there.
Well, our best wishes go down to Josh O'Meara and the Vikings, hoping that that's just maybe something like a serious ankle sprain and maybe not real bad. In a moment, we're going to tease our quiz one more time, but right now, Valley trying to get too many men off the field as they'll set up for a Duncan field goal. Out of rhythm on special team execution that time. Field goal attempt falling well short, so the score remains 14-0, and about 6 minutes left in this one, half of a quarter left for Elk Grove to try and put something together. Let me just say right now that if Renee will go ahead and punch up that graphic, we have one more tease on the question, who owns the rep of being considered the absolute most dangerous, hardest hitting football player of all time. This week's clue, his famous hit came against the Steelers. He hit fullback Joe Gary so hard he popped out one of his eyes. Meantime, Jones upstairs, triple covered, gathering, incomplete, and a late flag comes out deep in that Valley secondary. Howard, number 8, back to defend. One of the 3 deep defenders.
Wow. I didn't see that, Jim. Did you see anything?
Wow.
I didn't see the penalty there, but
got pass interference on the defense. That's an automatic first down.
That's automatic. That's automatic first down.
Demonstrative
Well,
call.
I didn't. That sure went by me. And a little on the delay side.
First down for the Herd, still a sliver of daylight in any comeback hopes. A tipped pass, nearly completed, but unable to hold it out in the flat. Adam George with coverage from Keith Lewis, incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, we're going to see Elk Grove starting to air the ball up here, because obviously when there's an incomplete pass, it'll stop the clock, and time is of the essence.
Well, yeah, they do, and they're giving them the sideline. But right now, it looks like they're backed off and they're not blitzing.
Wow, I can hear the pads popping, and another marker comes out late right along that Elk Grove bench at the 45-yard line, and we've seen far too much of that in a clumsy second half here compared to what was setting up to be a real nice ball game early on.
Will, did you see that? Was he out of bounds when he got hit? I don't know.
That's what I'm assuming at the way the flag came out, and it's a walk-off against Valley and a big one.
Yeah, that's going to be 15 yards, as you said there.
This game is slowly, Coach Domino, being reduced to a penalty fest, and attributable to poor execution and an officiating crew that is spotting lots of flaws in these two squads tonight. Well, that one's not going to work either.
Gaffing was definitely in motion, and you got an illegal procedure going on. It's just amazing here what has happened here in the second half, as you mentioned, Will. Not to be redundant about this penalty plagued football game here in the second half. That's unfortunate with 2 good football teams here. That it certainly takes away the effectiveness and the play away from the players when you have this many flags. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to eliminate the mistakes, actually, on both sides of the ball, especially going in the first round of playoffs. They will be very costly.
Howard defending Gaving, incomplete. 3rd and about 15 at the 5:27, and hopes flickering now for visiting Elk Grove late in the 4th.
Well, as mentioned earlier, we haven't seen the screen yet. We haven't seen the wraparound draw, but I don't think there's reason to wraparound draw, but we haven't seen the screen yet.
Right. I think you saw on that penalty with the procedure called, they were setting up the screen. And unfortunately, there was that penalty, and that's what they were getting ready to run it. So, you know, they might come back to it. It's a good point, Jim.
Let's take another look and see how this play evolves.
Okay, you see him back to pass, and he throws the football out to Gathing, number 15, broken up very nicely by the defensive back.
Good closing time, good breakup, nice simultaneous hit.
Yeah, he did. He just stripped the ball there.
Valley Vikings have led all the way, on top presently 14-0. Just 5:27 left in this one. Should the game conclude in this fashion, Valley High School, Jim and Jeff, looking at a co-championship in the Delta after years of being mired in the basement. Jones to throw a bullet over the middle. A hookup complete, but another marker coming in from the back judge about 20 yards up the field. And play stopped again.
Wow.
Yeah, it appeared he got there a little early.
Now they're going to get an interference here. Back to your comment, Will, relating to Valley and the job that Coach Cox has done here. It appears now with 5:21 left on the clock, not to be too presumptuous, that they are heading not only to a Delta League co-championship with Laguna, as well as that number 2 entry into having head-to-head loss to Laguna. They will go in as a number 2 and will visit Grant. And that looks like a matchup they want, because they lost earlier in the season to Grant.
Right.
Well, there you see Terry Cox and company.
On the defense, a 10-yard penalty at 2nd down.
And the official declaration.
Defensive holding. I was not expecting that, guys.
Not
if
at
anything,
all.
I was expecting the defensive back got to the receiver a little early, but I was not expecting
Not holding. I
defensive
thought
holding.
an interference, if anything.
Yes.
2nd and 4. Jones deep up the side. He's got Diaz incomplete at the 5. Running stride for stride. Deep secondary coverage for the Vikings applied by number 11, Keenan Fields.
Well, you know, senior Keenan Fields has had a good football game. Decent coverage, has been on many tackles tonight, and has really been tested on that left side. They're finally going to Kenny Diaz here. Middle is still wide open. I realize they got to get in the end zone, but middle is wide open, Jeff.
Absolutely. The quarterback had good time on that. Great protection up front by the offensive line, but they are going to have to move the chains here. It's 3rd and about 4 or 5.
5 minutes to go. Jones has some protection.
There's a screen. Here it comes.
It's George, and he's caught from behind. Alan Cruz, number 50, a two-way starter for the Vikes, makes a whale of a play, stopping Adam George 1 yard short of a 1st down. Oh, my
goodness.
Oh, there you go, Will.
All right.
There it is.
I want to tell you, that was a big play. One of our top plays in this football game, because that had 10 to 15 minimum yards written all over.
Oh, they had blockers out front. This is going to be the crucial play for Elk Grove to get this 1st down.
4th and nearly 2. That's a long yard. Let's see what they do with it. Adam George. Uh-oh, loose football. And Cruz might have it. It is. It's Alan Cruz, number 50, back-to-back key defensive stops, the 2nd a fumble recovery.
He had the 1st down. He had that 1st down, it appeared to me.
Oh, yes.
Big defensive hit. Fumble the football.
Well, all for naught.
One more look.
I agree with you. He has the 1st down. He comes in there tough.
Oh.
Takes a big hit.
Looked like number 1.
It sure
yeah,
was.
Manas made a big one. Oh, what a big one that was.
Manasi Hopoi with the hit, jarring the fumble, and Cruz with the recovery. And for all intents and purposes, Kit, that will probably finish up any Elk Grove comeback hopes. You never know, though. Clock rolling under 4 minutes. They're going to have to make something fast, starting with a defensive touchdown.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, at the start of the 2nd half, it was going to be important that Elk Grove
protected the football as well as Valley.
Well, we've seen between the penalties and the fumbles, unfortunately, Adam George has had a big night, though. He's played so hard, ran so hard up the middle for the herd, and he was on the receiving end of a big hit, though.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like 2nd and 10 here for Valley. Pitch out left. And big play here. Big stop for a loss, brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, very nice solo tackle in there by number 27. Aaron White, nice tackle on Mr. Lewis, who is very tough to bring down.
Well, at 3:09 of the 4th, Valley High School looking as if it has successfully defended its home turf on an off-field, I guess I ought to call it an off-campus field here at Cosumnes River College. Still in excellent condition, but that didn't help Elk Grove tonight.
No, not at all.
And storyline again, bottom line storyline, mistakes and turnovers, a good part of it.
Penalties, absolutely, mistakes.
I think we've seen more yellow handkerchiefs than we did that night out in Roseville when we saw Jim, we saw Rockland. Where was that? Rockland and Del Oro when the Orphans called that game.
When the Orphans called that one, yeah. Yeah, that was an offshoot. This is a portion of the Orphan show, however, not quite there.
Question is now, should the score remain the same? Co-championship for Valley along with Laguna, but what does that do to Elk Grove going into a tough first rounder? We mentioned what an uphill mountain that will be to climb on the road in either case, but now in a 2-week tailspin, I don't think they've dropped 2 straight and 3 in a season for a while. I know Joe Davidson would bear that out, but
yeah, this will be 4.
This will be 4. And
losses.
can they recover? Can they put up a big game in the playoffs?
Well,
Frierson fumbles and gets it back and tries to run away from Crable, throws on the run and gets rid of it, incomplete.
Well, they're going to have to go into Jesuit and play Jesuit on their home turf. And of course, they defeated Jesuit for the city championship last year. And I'm sure the Marauders are just waiting for an opportunity for a little bit of revenge versus Elk Grove, which takes place on Saturday of the first week of the playoffs. So that's where they're headed right now to play the champion of the Metro League, Jesuit High School.
That's right, Jim. My concern here tonight is neither team has scored in the second half. And as you mentioned at the pregame, is that Valley needs to finish the game strong, and they're going to have to put points up in the second half in order to go deeper into the playoffs.
Punt formation, Cruz, a hefty leg, pounds one short, and it's going to die across midfield at about the herd 44. So at the 2:52, the Vikings give up the football, but not much left for Elk Grove here, down 14-0 and less than 3 minutes to go.
Well, I don't want to take anything away from Coach Cox and his Vikings. However, when you think about it, they had one offensive touchdown tonight.
Off
one
of a
defensive
turnover.
touchdown.
Yeah, off the offensive touchdown, Jim, was off a turnover.
Jones fires right and throws a sweet strike on the run. Gathing has the catch for about a 12-yard pickup and a first down. Howard has the coverage.
This is an offense which is meant to drive the field, use the clock, time-consuming type O, and as you mentioned, Jeff, one was off a turnover, and the other one was a defensive touchdown. So, again, you know, Valley's going to have to show more scoring punch.
Now to give that completion to Skylar Giles, who's in a QB. This time, however, he's sacked on a hard charge, and the fullback is showing some great game at linebacker now. Manasseh Apoy with a big hit. Skylar Giles with a hook up first to Gathing, but that time, no time to throw, and he got dropped. Big loss, 2nd and 15. Giles to throw, quick hit for Diaz, incomplete.
Well, Will, you're hearing, excuse me, Jim. I was just going to say you can hear it in the crowd's sound of the crowd. They're really smelling victory here, and they're really excited.
I think this might be the time, though, where we can tip our hand on our players of the game. Is that correct? as the Herd comes up to the line at the 2:04 on 3rd and long. Hard rush, screen right. George has the pill, cuts inside a couple nice blocks, and has a first down and a whole lot more before he's run down running laterally. Adam George still working hard at the end. Tonight, in recognition of their outstanding performances in this evening's contest, Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports Productions salute Adam George. This is becoming habit forming. Number 21, junior RB, couple of tough fumbles, but another hard-fought performance tonight for the Thundering Herd. And from Valley High School, the ever-dangerous, exciting, dynamic Keith Lewis. A TD run that really was the winning points early on in the first period. A sweep, also a couple of other long plays, and in the big drive that ground up so much time, he was so impressive as they ran to the near side, and he showed an awful lot in a 14-0 ball game. So it's Adam George and Keith Lewis, tonight's Cap City Game of the Week players of the game.
And both of those are two-way players. They played extremely well on defense.
I agree, gentlemen.
Giles has a pass batted. It's incomplete. Nice hard pass rush off the line of scrimmage, turned in by Bird. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Clock stopping at the 1:35. Well, let's dispatch Jeff Hassan down to the field. If we can give him a hand with the wireless mic and the T-shirts and maybe a field assistant, he'll be working with our players of the game and our winning coach, Terry Cox. And that'll be after we take our post-game break. But right now, still 1:28 left.
You know, they gained about 8-9 yards on that pass play. But quarterback Giles had to throw the ball about 35-40 yards to pick up 9 there. It's awful tough. Very dangerous pass to the sideline there. Middle of the field's wide open. They could cash in and score here if they get one in the middle of the field.
3rd down, Skylar Giles fires left. He's going for a 5-yard line receiver. It's DeBenedetto, chased by Keith Lewis, incomplete. Clock stopping at the 1:21. And Elk Grove running out of options in every category.
Well, they certainly are. It's getting down here. If they could hit one in the end zone, it's 3rd and short. If they get in the end zone, an onside kick is their only chance here.
Well, defensive holding, Jim Domino, and that will help the Herd big time.
Well, that'll bring them a little closer to goal line, approximately the looks like appears to be the 15-yard line.
The point is, if they can't get in for a score, they can always try the onside, and that keeps the situation in doubt when you're nursing a 14-point lead. But they haven't been able to get in yet. Giles, big hole. Adam George, spin to the 10. Possible loose football after
they got to
contact.
get up quick now. They won't let them up. Valley's sitting on them and won't let them up, obviously. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking away. And right now, Elk Grove's got to get ready to snap the football, and not the officials can do a better job warning Valley to get off the people.
That cost him about 15 seconds at least, under a minute. Quick hit. Giles throws out of bounds to stop the clock at the 52-second mark. So Elk Grove really has its work cut out. They are going to need a TD, and regardless of a 1 or 2 point conversion, they'll have to recover an onside kick to make a big push at the end.
Well, with 52 seconds, not over till it's over, but I agree with you. They got 2 downs here to get in the end zone, and then, of course, hope for the onside. But the first thing is get in the end zone.
So it's coming down to cases for the Herd at 52 seconds, trying to get on the board. Giles fires left side, a lob. Howard defending, and 2 markers come out on a bump with the ball in the air. Diaz, 12, the intended receiver. Deron Howard, the junior DB, with the coverage.
Well, that was definitely, he got into a face guarding early.
Well, there you see the signal from tonight's game referee. Bubba Hurd has the call. Push in the secondary. And with the aid of a couple of penalties, Elk Grove now has moved. Well, let's see, they're going to park this one. Oh, boy, this has been a real adventure tonight. Momentary stoppage on the play for clarification of where the penalty originated and where the walk-off will go to. And the penalty is declined. Penalty declined. The ball parked at the 6-yard line with 44 seconds left, and the clock rolls as the herd breaks huddle. Hodges, the tight end, wide to the right. Giles going for Hodges, the big target at 6'5", broken up, incomplete. A marker comes out. Defensive coverage by Keenan Fields, number 11. Ryan Hodges, the starter on the Elk Grove basketball team with good leaping ability. Giles tried to throw the lob to him and take advantage of the mismatch, and Fields got caught.
Yeah, he went alley-oop to him, and he's just got to get the nose up a little higher and let Hodges just out-jump the defender.
Pass interference on the defense, half the distance to the goal line. That's an automatic first down.
That's at least 3 Valley penalties in the last 4 plays, if my memory serves. Nice replay, guys. Okay, playing it out to the bitter end. They're playing out the string. Elk Grove wants pay dirt with 32 seconds left. A smash up the middle and no indication yet. He might be short. Valley trying to hold him off. Timeout, so we've got a replay upcoming on the throw to the corner.
Okay, there's the throw to the corner, and you see number 11 all over receiver. Hodges, number 11. Keenan Fields with interference, half the distance to the goal line. So we got a timeout with Elk Grove, and it's probably their last timeout, I would assume. Ball is on a, looks like it's on a 2 there, isn't it?
Yes, nice slow motion replay. Reminder for next week, as we have just 24 seconds left in today's action. Opening round coverage. Zach Joaquin section playoffs will have a doozy for you. We're entertaining a selection from what looks like 3 very attractive matchups, and I'm sure you'll be pleased with our decision. Meantime, the timeout is expiring. 24 seconds left in this one. Valley in control, 14-0, but Elk Grove trying to make a last-ditch go of it with a couple of hot plays. Pound it straight. Adam George, touchdown, Thundering Herd, as they finally cash in with 20 seconds left to get on the scoreboard, and we'll see how they play the PAT.
Long time to go, but they finally got in the end zone.
14-6, Valley
They
on
gave it
top.
to their bread and butter man right there at the goal line.
Adam George playing tough tonight.
Oh, yeah. He just gives you everything every night.
Another 100-yard performance. A TD now to get his squad on the board. And Nolan Dunkley, the left-footed soccer-style kicker out of the Kenny Diaz hold. And let's keep our eyes on any fake possibilities. No, Dunkley's got it on the way, and he's got a bullseye. So at the 22nd mark of the 4th, Elk Grove pulls within a T and a point. It's now 14-7, Valley by 7. And the forthcoming onside kickoff attempt will be an adventure, I'm sure.
Well, Valley will put its hands team on the field with their best athletes and put them in a position where they can field the ball. As you see them assembling on the far side, you're going to see a lot of low numbers. You're not going to see too many, if any, 60, 70 numbers out there on the field. Commonly called, your video audience out there, coaches have a label of hands team on it. Hopefully the best hands are on the receiving end here, so anything can happen.
Even should the herd be fortunate to scramble on a loose football, they're going to have to need something extra special to
they're
put
gonna need
themselves
Hail
in a
Mary plus,
position
yeah.
to tie it or win it, depending on how they want to approach it. But that's just speculation. So Elk Grove deploys for a probable onside-er. Dunkley to do the honors. They're overloaded to the far side, as you can see. The hands team on the field for the Vikes as Elk Grove shifts. All on one side except Dunkley. A good topper, a high bounce. Uh-oh. Elk Grove recovers, and it's right at the midfield stripe where the spinning catch was made, and let's see what they allow. Just the kind of a borderline decision our officials probably wish did not occur, and they're going to give the football to Valley, indicating that the Elk Grove recovery was probably less than a yard from going the necessary 10.
Well, we're talking about several inches because, wow, that was well executed by Elk Grove. The kicker did exactly what he's supposed to do, hit the top of the ball, get that nice high bounce, and the question was, this official here, whether he was going to put it on the goal line. Look, the ball's practically set in the nose of the football's on the line, Will.
Yes, it is. That's the closest call we've had tonight, and I'd hate to have to live on the difference. A kneel down should finish this one up as the clock will expire from the 10-second mark on a countdown here. And the Valley Vikings are going to walk away from Cosumnes River College tonight with a 14-7 victory over the gallant, never say die, Elk Grove Thundering Herd. As a result of this victory, Jim Domino, we well know that the Valley Vikings have emerged as at least co-champs of the Delta League with Laguna Creek, both clubs advancing to the playoffs. We know where both of them are bound in all probability, and we have ourselves an upcoming playoff scenario that will be very exciting. Stay with us as you see the good sportsmanship on the field between two quality football teams. We invite you to stay with us. We will be returning to Cosumnes River College for our customary post-game activities, and that will include Jeff Hassan on field level interviewing our players of the game and tonight's winning coach. Stay right here at Cosumnes River College tonight. Valley stops Elk Grove. We'll be back.
Don't go away. The post-game show for the Capital City Game of the Week is coming up next.
This edition of the Capital City Game of the Week is being brought to you by JR's Texas Barbecue. It's the taste of authentic Texas barbecue right here in Sacramento. Athletics Unlimited, where every day is game day, dedicated to supporting education and student athletics. And by Dimple Records, new and used CDs, cassettes, movies, games, and gifts. The insanity begins here. And by the Air Force ROTC program. Call Lieutenant Richards for more information. Access Sacramento and Play-by-Play Sports would like to thank these businesses for helping to cover some of the production costs for the Capital City Game of the Week.
Johnson West Campus, winner of the 1999 Gold Medal for Academic Excellence. West Campus is a college preparatory high school with a rich tradition of academic and athletic achievement, where students experience education as it should be.
Change. It's coming faster. Only those with high-tech skills will excel. I'm getting those skills now in the Air Force. It's given me powerful tools. With Air Force skills, I can keep up with tomorrow's changes, and so can you.
To find out about Air Force ROTC at Sacramento State, call Lieutenant Cassandra Richards at 278-7315.
Welcome back to Cosumnes River College. It's all over on this edition of the Capital City Game of the Week as we work into our post-game show tonight. Valley stopping Elk Grove by a score of 14-7 in a very crucial Delta League matchup. Before we bounce down to Jeff Hassan, who's standing by with Keith Lewis. We'll be doing that momentarily, but tonight a very key ball game. As we know, Valley rising from the basement of Delta League play the last few years to claim a co-title. Elk Grove struggling right now, but still in the playoffs. But I have to credit Elk Grove, Jim. This is, I believe, the lowest point total of the season for a very high-scoring, explosive Valley Vikings ball club, limited tonight to just 14 points.
Well, they finally got on the scoreboard here with about 20 seconds left in the football game, an onside kick. Yet for them to get 7 here, certainly I don't think any of us would have predicted a total of 21 points with these two teams. Would you, Will?
Absolutely not. But that's how it turns out. Momentarily, we're going to toss to Jeff Hassan. Keith Lewis continuing to get handshakes and congratulations. If we can get him back over to our camera area, we can go ahead and bounce down and talk to one of the top players in this area out of the Delta League, Keith Lewis, coming into tonight's football game with better than, well, nearly 1,600 yards rushing and 25 TDs, an outstanding defensive performer, special teams performer, and he has been the driving force behind Terry Cox's Vikings and their big drive to the co-championship of the Delta League this season. Dan Mendonça retrieving our post-game guest. It looks like coaches Hoskins and Lombardi of Elk Grove continue to have the majority of the Thundering Herd encircled on the far side. A tough loss for the two-time defending section champions, but they will indeed be back in 1 week's time to open playoff competition, as will 7 other D1 teams. Let's go ahead now and relocate our field talent. That's Jeff Hassan and Keith Lewis standing by with our camera ops person Kevin Knight. Keith Lewis tonight, not his customary performance, but a big TD to get his team off and going on the right foot. Jeff Hassan standing by with Keith Lewis. How you doing, Jeff?
Well, I'm here with Keith Lewis, Capital City Player of the Game. Congratulations, Keith. I just wanted to tell you, great job tonight. What do you think the key to the victory was?
The key to the victory was our defense. Our defense stepped up tremendously. They had a big game.
I agree. In the red zone, they stopped some big stops on Elk Grove in the red zone and came up with some big turnovers. Great job tonight. And on behalf of Capital City Game of the Week and Athletics Unlimited, we do have a T-shirt that is sponsored by Athletics Unlimited and myself, so it gives me great pleasure to award you that Capital City Player of the Game. So let me get you your T-shirt. Going into the playoffs, you will be facing Jesuit, and you've had a shot at them already once this year.
Grant.
You think it's going to be Grant?
I think it's Grant this week.
Well, Coach will have you prepared for whoever it is. And how do you feel about beating Elk Grove? This is the first time in 4 years. How do you feel about that, Keith?
It's been a long time. They've been having bragging rights for a long time. So it feels great. It feels great for us to finally come out victorious over them.
That's a lot of work. It's great to see Coach Cox get this team rolling. Cox's box prevailed. We saw in the paper this week how things had to work out, and you showed who was boss tonight. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Jeff Hassan, we want to ask a question. Grab him right there because we need to ask a question from up here.
Well, we're going to get Coach Cox here in just
a
few moments, and when we get him rounded up, we will interview him.
Thanks, Jeff. You know, Keith Lewis, big tonight. That'll be a rematch, Coach Domino, against Grand High, and that was an early season response. It was Grant defeating Valley like in week 3.
Yes.
And so that'll be a rematch, and a lot on the table involving Valley now coming in with major momentum and a late season push, especially with a psychologically lifting victory over the two-time section defending champs. That has to be enormous going in for the Grant rematch.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure Valley will be going into Grant with a revenge in mind. And at this point in time, not only momentum, but their confidence level, they're co-league champions going in there to play Grant High School. So that's interesting, very interesting.
It sure is, and it's just gratifying to see a have-not program resurface and rekindle some of that tremendous intensity and excitement. that Valley had about 4 or 5 years ago when Coach Hoskins took them into the playoffs. But let's bounce down now to Jeff Hassan. He's standing by with Victoria's head coach Terry Cox of Valley High. Jeff?
Congratulations, Coach Cox, on your victory over Elk Grove. Tell me what the key to victory was this evening.
I don't think there's any one key to victory. I think the whole season has been the key to our victory. We've had tough competition all year. We played one of the toughest schedules in Sacramento. We played against a good team tonight. Our defense has always been underestimated, and our defense came through tonight. Our offense wasn't clicking. Our defense came through, and that was, I think, the difference in the football game. Pretty awesome. We're co-champions. We beat Elk Grove. We can't ask for anything more than that. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the way my kids played. I'm happy with my program, and it's just awesome. We're in the playoffs next year. We got a co-championship. It's the first year in the program, so, yeah, I'm happy.
Well, it looks to me that Sacramento has welcomed Coach Cox to Division I football. Talk a little bit about Division I football versus Division II or III.
The difference between Division III and Division I is the athletes are bigger and faster. There's a lot of coaches on Division III that are just as good as Division I coaches, but the other difference is there's more better coaches on Division I. Every week is a dogfight. Every week you see talent that's unbelievable out here in the Sacramento football fields. So you have to be more prepared. You got to put in more time. I think it's just overall it's just like I said, you have to be more well prepared to play in Division I level.
Well, outstanding job this year, and welcome to Division I football, Coach. Great job on your co-championship. Welcome to the Delta League. This is, I believe, the first time that Keith was saying that he beat Elk Grove in 4 years. Talk about that a little bit in terms of some of the seniors on this team.
We talked about the big bully on the hill and about Elk Grove always rubbing it in our face and rubbing our heads in the dirt the last couple of years and totally destroying our kids. And we felt it was time that the kids from Valley climbed up on the hill and kicked the bully off. And the kids came out. They were prepared. Elk Grove was prepared. It was a great game, and we ended up on top.
Well, great job, Coach. Talk a little bit about you. You didn't score any points in the second half. What are you going to do to remedy that in the first round of the playoffs this next week?
I don't think you remedy situations like that. I think in certain games that those things just happen. And in championship games, it goes back to the old saying, defense wins championships. Offense scores points and brings in the crowd. So, no, we just go back and work on what we do always, and next week we'll be better at it.
Well, great job, Coach, and my congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you very much for having us.
You bet. Back to you, Will and James.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Nice interview with winning coach Terry Cox in his first year, his coaching debut, his inaugural season guiding the Vikings. He lifts them from a 1-8-1 season to a co-championship in the Delta, and I'm quite certain that the Valley High School administration and student body and the general community out here in the Cosumnes and Parkway and adjacent vicinity has to be awfully proud of this silver and blue Crad football team.
Well, I'm sure they're very happy Coach Terry Cox came down. Elk Grove, unfortunately, has run into the hillside twice. They ran into the Oak Ridge hillside, and then they also ran into Coach Cox bringing his offense down from the hillside. So back-to-back, they have lost to a coach from up there as well as the Oak Ridge team from up there. In all due respect to Elk Grove, they played very hard. They were the victim of many penalties and turnovers, but that's part of football. And now they must go into face a very tough #1 ranked Jesuit team on the Jesuit home field. Valley has an opportunity to gain revenge back on Grant, having lost to them earlier in the season. So those are two great matchups.
And I'm quite certain Jesuit will recall the end of their season a year ago when they were beaten decisively by Elk Grove at Hughes Stadium. But the way it spins out tonight in South Sacramento from Cosumnes River College is a very hard-fought, close victory. 14-7 as the Valley High School Vikings prevail tonight over the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. Remember, next week we've got another dilly for you, and as we open coverage of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs, so stay with us. In 1 week's time, that'll be Sunday, November 21st, 8 p.m. on Access Sacramento TV 73. For Jim Domino and Jeff Hassan, for Director Kit Clemens and producer Nanette Dansby, CG Ops, Renee Sadler. I'm Will James. Delighted you were able to join us tonight. Please stay tuned in 1 week for our playoff opener. The Capital City Game of the Week is a special sports presentation of Access Sacramento in association with Play by Play Sports Productions. So long, everyone.